All right. Good evening. I apologize for my tardiness. It is 6:33 p.m. and I now call this regular meeting to order of the City of Mercedes. Next item on the agenda is establishing a quorum. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, starting with the doc over here on the right.
Commissioner Howe, place one, present.
Armando Garcia, place 2, present.
Ruben Saldana, place 4.
Joe Martinez, place 3.
And Oscar Montoya, your mayor, and that makes a full commission. Moving on to the invocation. Oh, they didn't put anybody. Okay. Commissioner Martinez, if you wouldn't mind, sir. And the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Armando.
Dave. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord God. Lord, we're grateful that you've given us the opportunity to come here and meet today, Lord. We pray, Lord God, that we put all items before you, Father God. Ask for your wisdom and guidance, Lord, that we may steer this city in the right direction. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen. Commissioner Garcia, if you don't mind, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
The United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Open forum? No, nobody for open forum? Okay, moving on to consent agenda. I only have one item, approval of minutes for the meeting held on October 7th, 2025.
Or make a motion to approve consent agenda item A.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to item 7, management item, present, discuss, consider possible to take action regarding approval of appointment, reappointment to the Keep Mercedes Beautiful Committee.
Good evening, Mayor. Commission, for the record, Armando Villela, Director of Parks. We are asking for the approval of these 2 new members to the KMB board. They were approved unanimously last night at our KMB meeting.
Awesome, and they are?
Mr. Samuel, you know what, I don't have their, Samuel Garcia,
Garcia
and the
Humberto
other,
Vasquez.
yes.
Okay, Samuel Garcia and Humberto Garcia. Do I have a motion?
Make a
regarding that?
motion, Mayor.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you so much, Mr. Villarreal. Moving on to item B, approval of budget amendment for building maintenance to divide the funds by departments.
Mayor and Commission, this is an approach to have each department do their own supplies.
Good.
And basically it's going back to them so they can manage it a little better.
Awesome. All right. Is that it?
Motion.
Did you want to say something? All right. A motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Howell. What's that? Discussion? Go ahead, Commissioner.
This is like devolution, so instead of having a centralized maintenance, you give it all to each department.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, coming from a department head, it's a great idea. Good job, Mayor. City Manager. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item C, approval of vehicle budget amendment to move from PD and streets capital outlay to vehicle lease equipment.
So we looked at the number of vehicles that were being proposed was a total of 5 for purchase this year. With the ability to lease them instead, we can go out for, I think it's 11? 11 vehicles instead. So that includes vehicles for public works, for PD, for parks.
Parks, streets,
Streets.
utilities, city hall, and police department,
And building maintenance.
and building maintenance, yes.
Awesome. It's a wave of the future.
So instead of spending, I think we were looking at spending $208,000, we're spending 150,
It's 142.
142,000 instead
That's
of
awesome.
208,000.
And I think there's some, you could probably explain it better than me, but I know that I'm working on that right now with the county, and there's a payoff because you can trade them in and they give us credit, right?
Yes,
So
right.
so we're not gonna, even more than just a savings between sale and lease, there's an added savings at the end of the lease.
At the end of the
Because
lease.
you
That we
se-
benefit
because
from.
you send it at optimal time where you get the best return on it when you sell it, instead of it depreciating so much that you don't get anything out of it.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
so is this a one-time lease payment or is this an annual lease?
It's an annual, but you get the maximum maximum amount when you're gonna sell it, which they recommend based on mileage and age. So you have a higher trade-in value coming back to you. Then at that time, you can use those funds for the down payment of those newer vehicles. So for example, instead of having a vehicle for, I think we're looking at some that are 2006 or year models.
Yes.
Instead of
that's
having
okay.
them past their useful life, you're gonna probably move them every 5 years or every 6 years, depending on the vehicle type and the usage. And therefore, your maintenance goes down also at the same time.
But, go ahead.
Budget amendment here shows 321,000, that there's a 225 in the approved budget, and then additional funds in capital outlay that we're gonna, I guess, move over into that line item.
Yes.
For equipment?
So that's, so the cost of that is 321, or what's the 321?
No, so the 225 is the current leases that we have,
Oh, I
plus the
see.
95 that we allocated for new vehicles. That
The
is gonna be-
96,000 will be
96.
allocated for 5 vehicles?
Well, the utilities is allocated under utilities, so that's gonna be a different budget amendment.
I see.
We're still pending on that one, but it's included on the 140,000. So that money is gonna be moved to the lease to complete that.
So this new lease amendment, it says a new lease agreement.
Are we voting on this?
Yeah, it is a new lease.
Yeah,
agreement.
we're discussing, we already had a motion, second. There's a discussion.
The lease, the existing lease agreement is being amended, or is this a whole new lease agreement?
This is a new lease agreement for new vehicles. The current one that we have is only for PD vehicles that we purchased 3 years ago.
Is that in here?
No. So that's why I put new lease equipment, because it's like, this is a
separate.
brand new
It's a separate.
contract. It's a separate from the one that we have right now. But since we have to expense it on the lease agreement, on the lease line item, that's why it's being moved from capital to that.
It has to be separate because they get capitalized separately.
Okay, yeah,
To get a copy of the lease agreement.
okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that would be subject to legal review, because we don't have the lease in front of us, so we're just.
Okay. Yeah,
Be-
so then I'll have to.
Approved
submit-
subject to
I assume
review
it's all
and
okay,
approval by legal.
Subject to
Legal review.
legal review of the lease.
Can you forward it to?
Yes,
So we
I
need to
will.
redo the,
There wasn't a motion.
there wasn't? Okay, so is that a motion, Ruby? Doc, I mean,
Oh, yeah, okay, so I can do that. So I move to approve subject to, the legal review of that lease. So that, I think that's fair to make sure that we don't end up over a barrel on that.
do I have a second?
We will.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Okay, can I have a
Aye.
quick
Yes, go ahead.
discussion?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, so the savings, the allotted savings that we're saving from those vehicles, where is that gonna go into?
So currently, we budgeted for 5 vehicles, right? Under
Right.
general fund.
Right, they were allocated for the 5 vehicles.
So, but we're actually leasing more than the 5 vehicles. So technically, there's a savings on the purchase, but you won't see it until the end of the
No,
lease.
no, but
So-
I think what he's asking is,
Yeah,
there
right,
is
but-
a savings. The savings is going to more cars.
Right, okay.
It's going to
so
more
it's
cars. Yeah.
Going back into that fund to kind of replenish
Instead of the
that
40.
same.
That's correct.
Yeah,
From
instead
what
of
I
the
saw, I
5, you
think
get
Public
more.
Works gets 7, administration gets 1.
Yes, the building maintenance. So there's like a lot of, instead of getting just those 3
So kind
vehicles,
of
we're going
gets
to more.
recycled back into that same funding for those allocated budgets, so it kind of continues.
Yes.
So hopefully maybe next
Cardinal
year
rule of
that
government
should
spending.
maybe either stay the same or you even get
2 and
less
you get
because
4,
we've already
twice
did
the
some savings.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, and just real quick, the incentive behind us doing it at the county was that we have cars that are 2006 that are costing us $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a year to keep them running.
Yes.
And we'll see that savings at the end, just period. And it stops the incentive of not buying cars. That's the incentive. The incentive is, man, we don't have money this year, so we'll just keep using those cars and keep pumping money into them, and the car's worth nothing. And by this, you'll know exactly how much you're spending every year, and you're replenishing those cars, and you stop the incentive of leaving a car till it's 20 years old and costing you more money to run. So that's the reason behind it.
The lease
It's a
we
good
have
idea.
on the PD, I don't remember the term. Maybe it was 3 years, 4 years.
It's 5 years.
5 years. Okay. So
Yeah.
at 5 years, we got to figure out what we're going to do.
So we
And
still-
then
uh-huh.
these are the same. Well, after 5 years, I'm pretty sure we know what we're going to do. We're sure
Yeah.
not going to keep
Yeah.
them, but this has got the same 5 year.
Yes, sir.
Well, the goal is not to keep them, right? So
The goal
the
is to-
goal is that you trade them in, get money back for them.
Maximum value.
Trade in.
Prior to the 5 years.
No, at the end of the
Before the 5,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I figured. When
Yeah.
you hit
Yeah.
the 5 year mark, then you trade them in.
You trade them in, yeah, and you cycle that.
yeah, we set that contract up a few
Yeah.
years when we
Yeah,
came because
commercial.
we
Yeah.
were spending more on maintenance
Yes, sir.
on these beat up vehicles.
Yep. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to item 8, ordinances and resolutions. Item 8A, approval of resolution 2025-24, updating the authorized signatories for Wells Fargo Bank.
So, we do currently have a Wells Fargo account. This one was opened back in 2014, 2015. And the account, the primary goal for that account is to have, like if something happens with Texas National, we have a backup for payroll only. So this account hasn't been touched, and in order for me to be able to access the account or manage the account, I need to change it to my name because we had the prior city manager, prior finance director, and prior accountant. So I need to change that.
Didn't we?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Howell, second by Commissioner Saldana. Discussion. Commissioner Saldana, go ahead.
We had a motion, was it to establish the account? Because I remember we had a Wells Fargo, I remember talking about this maybe a
Yeah.
couple of years ago.
That was like prior before you guys were here.
Well, we talked about something like this
Mm-hmm.
while I've been here, because I remember talking about it.
We can bring it back, go back to the minutes.
But, well, and given the names that are on there,
Yes.
man, it's been around for a while.
Yeah. Mhm.
So how much do we have in that account?
So in
Is
that
it just to kind of get us over the hill for a month worth of payroll or
It's
two
two.
pay periods or what?
Two pay periods. It's like around 400,000 that we have in
Okay,
there.
that's
and
what I
it's
thought.
Payroll only. Mhm.
All right, and it's as much adding names as it is taking them away. You were not an authorized signature on this,
No. Mm-mm.
signature on this?
So
Okay.
I needed to get some information from the bank, but they wouldn't authorize me. So I need to take this paperwork to the bank for me to be able to access it.
Any more questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to item B, approval of resolution 2025-25 denying the Texas Gas Service Company intent to increase rates.
Move to approve.
I'll
I have a
second.
motion by Dr. Saldana. Do I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item C, approval of first reading of ordinance 2025-33, amending water conservation and drought contingency plan. We want to talk about the amendment
Got Ms.
briefly?
Director of Planning Denise.
Yes, ma'am. The youngest one in Texas, I believe.
She's great.
We're the best. Good job.
Hi, Denise.
Thank you. Hi. For this one, we are adding, the water wells also have to follow the drought plan. I know the water wells, residents, they don't follow it. They, sprinkle all their water all they want all day long. So we're putting a pause to it. We're putting penalties. So if we see you have to abide by our rules. We're also adding that there's no more water wells in the city. Since we're building our own water wells, that is water that's being like stolen from us in a way. So we're stopping that, and we're also making all the water wells come in and apply for a permit, because not all of them have applied for a permit, nor they're registered with us or the state.
So you're basically gonna stop people from having water wells in their homes? Is that what we're saying?
And no more new ones. So whoever has one right now, they can have it. They just have to submit inspection reports to us, because they're not submitting anything to us.
The way we're finding them is we're driving around looking for code enforcement violations, and one of them is people watering at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And so we're stopping and knocking and say, oh, I have a water well. And so, okay, and they water all day long and nobody, I mean, so basically we just keep going.
No, I'm not a real estate expert here, but I'm kind of under the impression that the water beneath your ground or beneath your home is kind of yours, ain't it?
Not all subdivisions allow the water wells. So most in the subdivision, the plats, it says that you have to be connected to city of Mercedes water. So not every subdivision allows it. Back in the day, they will allow it, but new subdivisions, they all have to be connected to the city water and sewer lines.
Granted, but what about a regular
But I
homeowner?
think that was trying to, I'll be honest with you, man, I don't know enough to be for or against it, but I'm with Joe on the fact that Commissioner Martinez, that like I have water wells on both my properties. I don't use them, but they've
I
been
think
there.
the state's
one
pretty
of them's
clear
been there
on
for
it
about
though.
70
I can
years.
understand a subdivision
Yeah.
because you're going in there and buying.
It's above and
But
and
I'm
below.
pretty sure that what you got beneath you is pretty much yours.
But there's
so-
a difference between them saying you have to connect to
Permit.
city water for safety reasons
Okay, yeah.
than for, hey, you're using our water. That's, I think, what's at issue. Maybe we can do this.
Like
Did you
to-
guys
Are
research
we gonna
it?
make
Did you
a
research
motion?
the
Are we
law?
gonna, we make a motion?
Yeah, hang on a second, because
Well-
I think it's gonna be important in this, that we decide whether we're going to do a, after research, right? I mean,
We can postpone it.
Yeah, that,
yeah,
that
let's
was, my,
table
my
that.
question is, you know, where's the precedent for this in other city ordinances? I get it. We're under conditions where we have to be very careful about water. And we, you know, we don't want 5,200 residents drilling water wells that are going to turn around and compete with the city trying to create its own groundwater supply as well. I don't know that would happen, but to your point, you know, in Texas, until they change it, it's right of capture. Although I guess cities have the ability to create more stringent, I guess, ordinances on how that happens. I'm a little uncomfortable that there's no provision, that, you know, we're just banning all wells without any provision for a justification for what that well is to be used for. That's what gives me a little bit of comfort issues. But I get the whole part about wanting to know how many wells you have within your city. I think it's a good idea to do that. I don't know how many dogs we've chipped and tagged and registered, you know, with our dog ordinance. So I don't know how this would go with the wells, but yeah, I think you're probably going to have to catch them and find them on our own. I don't know how many people are going to willingly come forward, but those are my thoughts, Mayor.
Mayor, if I may, my concern at the gist of it is that a lot of people who use the well to water their grass and other areas. We've just increased our water rates at this point. So I think that if you have a water well and you kind of use it to your disposal to water your grass, you know, especially if we put tighter restrictions, I'd hate to take that away from a homeowner, but I kind of see the bigger picture in it. I'm with Dr. Saldana that I can understand the overall picture, right? And having everybody get a water well, but I'm just kind of not comfortable with that, but I'd like for us to look into it and just see.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we just table this? And I'd like to see some legal precedents. What gives us the right, number one. Number two, I'd like to hear from either engineering or somebody. My understanding is that there's like 1,000 years worth of water underneath us. So I'm not sure that somebody with a 3/4 inch well, I would feel more comfortable saying, hey, you can't have a 4-inch well, you know, something to that effect. And that's kind of hard to police, but.
Mayor, I'm sorry, if we could just add something real quick, maybe to that, maybe also look in comparison to maybe any other ordinances
Yeah.
like it, to see what those cities have done, because I'm pretty sure there's a little give and take, right? Because I'm with the mayor, I don't think a small water well to water your grass is gonna really have an effect as far as if somebody were to build a bigger one, so.
Now,
I'd like to look at that.
So I'm not against it. I just want to table it, find out what our precedence is, and make sure that we're not overreacting to what's going on.
Yeah, creating an unreasonably constrictive sort of a thing. And you know, I'd be all for requiring people to register a well with the city and pay a permit, and that way we know where they are and who has them and whether, you know, what their how much water they're capable of pulling and stuff like that. Yeah, make them subject to inspection and so forth. Even water quality. I mean, I've got one and I test it for TDS and things like that.
I go like this.
I want to know.
You know,
I want to know. So,
smells like poison. All right.
But anyway.
So let's table it and let's do a little more research on it. Let's see what we can come up with. All right. Do I have a motion to table it? I don't know.
I make a motion to
I have a
table.
motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Dr. by Dr. Saldana. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And just to Dr. Howell's point, he is correct. We did do a motion, a second. Now, the reason that I wanted to discuss this a little bit because I was leaning towards tabling it as well. So,
I'll
but
get with
good
Denise
point,
and
Commissioner.
We'll bring back some options and what other cities are doing in the law.
Item 8D, approval of first reading of ordinance 2025-34, amending chapter 4 business regulations of the Code of Ordinances to add a new section, Article 413, entitled Business License.
We have already passed this business license ordinance last year in December, but we hadn't added to the business regulation article. So we're adding it to the chapter and we are adding penalties for businesses that haven't come out and get their business license. I know we've been working with them. Code enforcement has gone out there,
Yep.
but there's several that they still don't want to comply. So we want to put a penalty on that.
Okay, how much is the penalty? Do you remember?
It's going to be 500.
Okay.
so you're saying that there's a loophole somewhere out there that allows people to conduct business without.
The business license. So we go out there, they get the application, but then they don't come in, and we're after them. We keep telling them, but they just don't want to come in. And since we don't have a penalty, there's
Oh, so this
Pretty
creates
much.
a penalty.
Yes.
yes.
That's it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're right. The loophole was
There's no
they did
incentive.
it,
Yeah.
but they
Right.
didn't put any teeth to it.
Right.
Does it have a start date? I don't remember looking at that.
No.
Okay.
So as soon as
Maybe we can do a
discussed.
campaign on social media.
Effective,
Yeah, where,
yes.
we did the motion? I was gonna have a quick question for discussion. So where do we come up with I'm just curious, so the 500?
We're putting it straightforward for all of our
Class C.
ordinance
so is that
500.
gonna be tiered?
No,
It's a Class
Oh,
C.
that's, okay, it's a
it's a
penalty?
Class C.
The Class C.
And what's the cost to have one again? To
What
get
does
the
it,
business
what did it
license?
cost to get it?
The business license is $80.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Okay, so then if they don't get it, it's like,
That's the campaign she's
Right.
talking. We can still give out a warning.
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I think it's fair. I was just wondering, okay, the penalty's this much, but how much is it to get it? I just kind of see if there was a tiered system or a way we could help up the
Sure.
small businesses, but 80's fair.
It's an incentive to
Right,
get one.
no, of course, yeah,
120 incentives.
right. Oh, for sure.
Right. I mean, we can tell them, okay, 80 of that goes to your, next year you get another one.
Towards your water bill.
Yeah, it goes towards it. All right, so I have item D. Do I have a
Mayor,
motion?
Could I have a discussion?
Yeah,
After
go
the
ahead.
motion? Or after the motion, I don't know.
Whichever.
Okay, well, I just wanted to see, I mean, do we know more or less how many businesses do not have a license at this point across the city?
It's a handful. I know this year we increased it. Oh, I know we have roughly like 200 business licenses from across the city. So it's just a few of them.
When you say
Um,
few, 5, 20?
Possibly
3.
like 20 or less.
Okay.
20, so it's not gonna have a big major impact here. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, I mean, if it was a very high number, if there was a way to kind of maybe before we start implementing this, kind of have, give a fair warning of, hey, make sure you got your ducks in a row because this is about to hit, right? But a handful of 20, I mean, that shouldn't be an
Mike.
issue, right?
Do they have,
My guess is we know who they are.
Roughly.
Okay,
does the
okay.
business have to renew
We
the
just-
business license?
We
every
can
year?
all split,
Yes.
we can all divide and conquer.
I'm
go to
sorry,
each
that
one.
was pretty good. What was that?
Yes, they have to renew their license. So every renewal every year is $80. We also put a penalty for that. So if you don't renew within the 30 days, I put $30 per month that you don't renew. Because we do have a lot of them that we have to be after them every single week, and code enforcement's out there and we call them, but they still don't want to
That's
come and
man
renew.
hours. That's man hours on our part.
We're trying to do inspections and.
Right.
Does this information get passed to our chamber? As far as the number of businesses, owners, things of that nature?
Yes, so we have a Civic Serve as the system, so it's connected. So everyone that comes for a business license gets registered there, and they have the list, and they know who has the permit and the business license and everything. So they know. They usually just send them across the street to us, and we'll help them out with the business license, and vice versa. We help them out so they can register over there as well.
The reason why I bring it up is in the past, we've discussed the idea of getting businesses involved in different things, parks being one of them. And I'm just kind of curious if we have some sort of directory, something that we can fall back on whenever we need something like this, or whenever there's events that we'd like to have our businesses included in. So that's kind of the reason behind the question. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I have a motion.
Make a motion, Mayor.
Motion by Commissioner Martinez. Are you gonna forego the reading?
Forego the reading, yes, sir.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Saldana. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, guys, from this on, we gotta make a motion in a second. Item E, approval of first reading of ordinance 2025-35, amending chapter 3, building regulations of the Code of Ordinances to add new articles 3.10, 3.11, entitled acquisition, disposition, and/or use of city property.
So this one is an ordinance we're copying from the city of FAR. Alvaro has worked with this ordinance before, so he wanted to bring it to the city of Mercedes. One of the main thing is the cell towers. So by law, the state law tells the city has roughly 120 days to approve that cell tower, or it gets approved automatically without us even reviewing it.
Yep.
So I know right now someone has contacted us and they want to bring one in. So we're putting all this regulation, so they have to follow the city laws and the state laws.
And you say that this is being done in FAR?
Yes.
I make a motion, Mayor, and forego the reading.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion?
Yes. So, to my understanding, a business would have to not only follow not only the city but also state law as well. And see, that's where I kind of have an issue because I feel like it doesn't always correlate. I think we should be able to help our small businesses to follow obviously the code and enforcement and the rules and regulations of a city, but sometimes when you look at state standards, it's a little different. They're at a higher standard or a different standard, and I think we need to cater our community, our business community, to what fits Mercedes. And like, for instance, certain easements, certain things that would allow us to work well and do things with our businesses here in Mercedes. For instance, like in Austin, San Antonio, it's different. And so for us to follow certain rules to the state standards would kind of throw things off. I think we just need I think city standards, city regulations, adjusting it to fit our city, just kind of like our we don't follow state charter. It's city charter here in our chamber, our city.
No, but
rules.
it's set by state. So local laws and do not supersede state, and they don't supersede federal. So it works its way down. But the idea is to keep it in line for everybody. So, but we can't write a law that goes against state or federal. We can't do it.
So for the simple-minded, I'm just, as I look at this, I'm trying to figure out what problem are we trying to solve? And by creating this, I guess, amendment to the ordinance. One is that apparently we have city-owned property that's being used and in some way we don't approve of. And we have unregulated cell towers, or we've got cell towers going in that are presenting problems to us. What are those problems? Or and I assume this is Alvaro going out and doing his thing, and he's running into issues kind of like we had with these nonprofit little containers that people can use to make donations of clothes that people are using to stack their mattresses next to and their living room furniture that they don't want anymore. And so what problem are we solving with this? Those are the two things that you mentioned. And I heard you say it, but I'm just trying to understand it better.
So this one is a company that they want to come in and put a cell tower. So by the state law, the city has 120 days to review the plans to give them a decision. If we don't do it with those like 120 days, it gets approved automatically. So since we don't have an ordinance, we have to go based off on the state law. And the state law doesn't regulate like, oh, you have, because they have to pay us for our easement. So if they're in a right of way, they have to pay us $250.
Okay. So by creating an ordinance, we give ourselves more time.
We
Okay.
give ourselves more time so
And
it
a
can get
review
approved through you
process.
guys
And a
as well.
review process. Okay, gotcha.
The review process being the most important part of
And
it.
is, so this is strictly on cell towers, in general, and especially on city property.
Yes, so like all of our easements and right of ways, sometimes we give up easements. And we should be charging them because at the end of the day, they cost city, the public notices, sending notice, all of that costs is money that we're losing and we're giving away the property. So
Okay.
all of that will regulate that.
All right, I'm good.
So that's what I was saying. So we would adjust it to what fits Mercedes. Okay.
Well, but we're not rewriting the law.
No,
Yeah,
but
this
we're
helps us because we don't have an ordinance that forces them to turn things into us and all that. This is gonna force the cell towers to say, okay, you gotta get back to me by this time, or we can tell you no.
right, but
before we didn't have
we're
that.
gonna be able to adjust certain things to
Yeah.
kind of help meet us so they can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a motion, no? Motion and second?
Now, quick question, real quick. Now, this, it sounds like more like in general. It doesn't say obviously the cell tower. So obviously this would be for other things as well.
Yes,
Okay.
so if they want to use our right of ways to put a sign or something, or for us to give up a right of way easement, we have regulations and we can
Great.
tell them yes or no, but it has to go through you guys as well.
Great, perfect.
Those things are more controlling than we think. There's a lot of things that they regulate. All right, do I have a motion?
Make a motion, Mayor?
Motion by Commissioner Martinez and forego the reading.
Forego the reading, yes, sir.
Second.
I have second by Dr. Saldana. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bids and contract discussion, possible action, approval, interlocal agreement, City of Wesco, City of Mercedes, Mid-Valley Regional Communications Center.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Howell. I have a second by Commissioner Saldana. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 10, monthly departmental reports and accomplishments.
So Mayor and Commissioners, department heads are here to provide you a update since the fiscal year is over and we're in the new one. And for Armando's sake, we're talking a short presentation. He doesn't understand what 2 minutes means. But we'll go ahead and start with finance. And they're just gonna give you a brief overview, okay? They're not gonna go over every
And
accomplishment.
just for the
Well-
record, I'd rather have a horse I have to say whoa to than one I gotta spur, man. Bring it on. We'll cut you off when we
I
get
like
tired.
I like the accomplishments. I love those. I read them all
He's got
all
questions.
afternoon. That's what I did.
Lots of questions.
Yes. Lots of questions. I had to go home and pick them up. I forgot them.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So I made it short and sweet. So it's been a challenging year for finance. Trying to adjust to new staff, new policies, new, I guess like a new direction under me. So it was challenging, but it was good for me. It was good for growth. So something that we've changed this year that I didn't put in there is that we have now the CPA that helps us kind of like check our books monthly. So that way, like by the end of the year, we
Ready
have
to
our
go.
books ready.
Very
So
good.
that's something that it's a big accomplishment for the department that I had forgotten
So that means we're gonna have the audit by January.
by February. So we're planning to get our books to the auditor by the end of December. So then he'll have a month to review. So hopefully by the second meeting of February.
And just if I could add, how are we on the gigs from last year to this year? Did you see some significant change in some of the stuff we got dinged for last year already
And the findings.
on the
On
findings?
the findings, no, pretty much everything that we got written for, it's already like completed. It's
Well, that's
already
what I was
fixed.
asking. So you did, y'all have been
Yeah.
fixing them. Okay,
So
great.
yeah, the main thing on the audit was to get a CPA
Yeah,
to
that was a
kind of
big
like
deal.
review our books, before we get the audit.
So the big item was reconciliations of books throughout the year.
Mhm.
And so now they're doing it every month.
Every month, yeah. And the CPA is pretty much caught up until right now until August. He was out on vacation, but he'll be back tomorrow, so he'll finish September. And then after that, like everything that they asked for the list, but I already started, getting everything together. So when he's here, he'll review them before I submit. So that's something that, we even though we got the stuff, we never had somebody to review it. So now we'll have the CPA to review it before we submit to the auditors.
Wait right there, Mayor. Anybody got any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I wrote my notes here. Explain is the investment report part of your report?
The month, actually, the quarterly report is the end of the monthly report. It's not part of the accomplishment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean I can still ask it, or does that mean I can't ask
If
it?
you want to.
Go ahead, sir. While you're at it, go
They
ahead.
said make it short, but okay.
Okay, so there's
Disclaimer.
I can only make the question short. I can't make the answer short. Equity and market value, there's pieces in there that I don't want a seminar. I just maybe in a nutshell what those things mean, or how we take away.
So the market, I know that you see the market value is the Wells Fargo account. So that's the account that you have in there. And the equity is pretty much what we can use, from Fund 01, Fund 02, 46, like that money that it's there available for us to use. Because
Okay.
of course there's money
So
for
market
grants.
value is what we have at Wells Fargo.
Yes.
Okay, all right. See, that wasn't so bad.
Continue, ma'am.
Disappointed.
Well, that's
I'm
it on that.
disappointed, man. I'm let down, Eric.
I'm glad to see the 10K report. That's what I call it. I appreciate you including that again. And on I'm just remembering the sales tax thing, and I'm looking for it. There's 232 pages, and I'll never find it. It's like a needle in a haystack here, but we budgeted based on what we thought the sales tax was going to be on,
It's
last
projected.
year,
Mhm.
and we were down like 3%
Yes.
this year, correct?
Yeah, it was. Mhm.
And a big hunk of that is the outlet mall, certainly not all of it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
not
that's
all of it.
everything.
Mhm.
So I saw where I don't know what the number is, but our cut is like 5 million or something like that of the sales tax revenue, but we budgeted at a lower amount than that,
Yes.
correct?
Mhm.
Conservatively?
Conservative.
Yeah.
Okay. And then and I wish I could find that I'm
Well-
on Animal Bites right here, Chief. I don't know where in the world hers is, but here it is. Okay. So it shows here that we got, there was 4 million, we budgeted 3.7. So that we used a conservative figure, correct?
Yes, we always do.
And so when it says yearly sales tax comparison, 4 million, that's our 75% portion of the sales tax, right? Leaving the other 25% to the EDC.
To the EDC, yes.
Okay, okay, that's, to your knowledge, does EDC did they budget on the full amount, or did they budget on a smaller amount? Do you have any idea?
They amend as more revenue comes in.
Yes.
They
yeah,
amend as more
per
revenue
Yeah.
comes.
Yes.
They're
Well,
more-
several times during the year, and they don't come back to you guys.
Yeah, they're more conservative than we are, but then they make.
Okay. Okay.
They
All right.
amend.
Well, I'm just glad we're doing that, because I'd hate to think that, we got 5.3 million in revenue last year, so we just always assume we're gonna get that and another 3%, and then you end up without enough money to
Making
pay
more.
your bills, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else? So Meredith, I want to say something because I know I was pretty critical of those findings and my expectations of you and stuff like that. Of what I heard today, what stood out the most is to hear a department head say, it was personal growth for me in front of God and country. That says a lot about your character, says a lot about your goal,
Yeah.
commitment. For somebody who has department head that works for him, that's very impressive for me. All the numbers are great. I love them all. But that to me meant the most. So I want to thank you for taking up the challenge that we provided for you. And instead of bittering up and all that stuff, you put your nose to the grindstone and made some significant changes, which is going to make us better. So I congratulate you for that. And I want to tell you, I was very proud of hearing you say that. And I'm very proud of your department. So keep up the good work. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next one. Who's up, Doc? Who you picking next?
Well, I don't know. You kind of
Who's
went
next?
ahead of me. I had
Rec-
planning first, but my notes.
Rec and
Parks and Rec.
Parks and rec and swimming pool and
Oh, did I mess him up?
Yeah, I went in order on the backup, but that's a different order than on the agenda.
For the
Go ahead,
record,
guys.
Richard Morin, Recreation Center Director.
Lee Puckett, Pool Manager.
I just brought Lee so he can put out some points on the swimming pool. Real quick, just wanted to share some numbers with you guys. For the past 2 years, we've been recording our progress as far as our leagues go. But before I jump into that, I just
As
want
far
to
as
say
your what goes, I'm sorry.
the leagues,
Oh, okay,
leagues,
okay,
the
yes.
youth, the programs
Awesome.
in general. But before I get into that, I did want to mention that the facilities, the Dome and the Rec Center are in very good shape. Now that we have a PM program for the Dome, the ACs have been in good standings. The Rec Center, we've had a PM program for that gymnasium AC. It's been in good standings. I want to thank the building maintenance department and Parks, Mando. They help us a lot. They help us on a weekly basis. So, the facilities are good.
Teamwork. I
and the
love
rec center's gonna get a new roof.
We're gonna get a new roof. We've already put it
Awesome.
out for bids and stuff, so we'll
Good
report
deal.
that later on as we get that. As far as the leagues go, I just created some numbers. I did put some backup information for all the kids by age groups and everything. But you can see I basically broke it down from fiscal year from 23-24 to 24-25. And of course, we just started our new budget year, and our leagues kind of start when our budget year starts. But in youth soccer, we increased from one year to the other. In youth soccer, we increased 31%.
Wow.
As far as the numbers go for the kids. And it's on the slides if somebody can just be turning them and stuff. Oh, you want to click it? And-
Shelf you, Serial Mr. Bucket.
and basically, we're averaging about 100 participants just for youth soccer. For basketball, we're averaging about 180 participants. And what I used was basically just Mercedes numbers right now. Right now, we do have a partnership with Donna. They bring in kids, so we're servicing those kids too. And I'll probably add those in the next report when we do it. But as far as, we're trying to create new partnerships with other communities and just trying to grow and just continue to have good programs for the youth, for the community overall and stuff. Like I said, basketball, we increased 16% as far as our numbers went up from one year to the other. Flag football was our biggest increase. We increased from 23 to 24. We increased a total of 52% as far as the numbers go for the kids participating in that. Youth volleyball league, we increased 11%. And our adult leagues, basically right now we got the men's basketball league and the co-ed, we increased 18% on those. So overall, if you take the averages, our youth average increase overall for our programs was about 55% overall. And as far as our averages for the increase for the adult programs, it was 18%. So other programs that we do obviously is the summer program, the participation, we increased 30% from last year. Last year, we registered about 110 kids. This year, we registered 140 kids.
This is all Mercedes then?
This is all Mercedes kids and stuff. And we do get kids from other cities, from
Sure,
West Laco and come, but they come and we do allow them to participate here and stuff. So that's our summer program that runs from June and July. Outreach programs, we had new outreach agencies come in, just to name a few. Texas A&M AgriLife started doing programs with us, and they're also going to continue to do programs with us year round, hopefully. We got Behavior Health Solutions, Angels of Love. We have Cedar Creek Church that they come from Dallas and stuff. And I just recently met with Miss Yolanda Garcia with I think she's with the Armory, with the American Legion. There you go. I'm sorry. And
Daughters,
she wants to partner up with us and everything. So she wants to get more involved with the kids and everything too. As part of the summer program, also we do our nutrition program with the school district. We basically increased our numbers as far as what the school district fed. The previous year, we had fed total meals, breakfast and lunches, 1,847. And this past year, we did 2,234. So the numbers are increasing, which is a good sign as far as for the kids participating in our activities and stuff. And we anticipate, I don't want to jinx it, but we anticipate that our numbers are going to increase even more because now La Feria is on board with us. They reached out to us and they want to be doing programs with us and everything. And last week I had a phone call from a gentleman in Harlingen that wants to bring flag football teams over here.
Well done.
For whatever reason, he says, I don't want to be part of Harlingen. I want to come over here and stuff.
Not our
And
problem.
So,
I know why, because we're awesome.
so our numbers have been good. Our numbers are steadily growing. And, you know, I thank my staff because they're the backbone of everything here. They basically do all the housekeeping and the facilities. They're clean, they're up to par. They do the after-school programs. They help out with the leagues as far as whether it's coaching kids, running practices, scorekeeping, staying after hours, and helping, again, cleaning with the facility and everything. So our staff, our part-timers, they deserve a lot of credit.
Every time somebody uses a dome,
Mhm.
I get a call telling me, one, how easy it was to borrow it, number one, and number two, how nice it was. And that was even one time when the air conditioner was busted, and we still got complimented. So I just wanted you to know that.
Appreciate that. And I'll let Lee talk a little bit about the aquatics program on some of the things that we had going there.
I'm glad you're wearing a shirt, Lee, because
Well, I was,
that's embarrassing for the other 61-year-olds.
I was gonna do our old picture we had back when none of us wore shirts, you know, back in the 80s. I think that one still comes up every once in a while on Facebook.
Yeah, it sure does.
No, so our water program went pretty well this year. We started off a little bit slow with the lifeguards, but we did wind up getting 7 of them all together.
Great.
The good news is I'm trying to convince my daughter not to study for her boards and not take them when she graduates in May, so she can lifeguard one last year. But hopefully all of them will be coming back. We should get a good number, so we'll be starting off ahead of the curve than what we normally do.
Good deal.
We had our swim program. Our Learn to Swim program was jam-packed. Every session, we had 2 sessions, 3 weeks each, and you know we're ready to go again next year for that.
Awesome.
We've got our lifeguard training coming up as well. You know we'll be ready to go for that. I'll have to get recertified this year for my lifeguard instructor. We have new filtration system. We've had it about a year and a half. We use a different type of filter now. It's the
Diatomaceous earth.
the DE.
Good.
And it's made a world of difference.
Yep.
Before, the pool would be very cloudy at the end of
Yep.
the day. Now it's still crystal clear all day long.
It's worth the cost. Yeah.
More upkeep, a little bit more to take care of it, but the long run is a lot better.
Awesome.
We've got our motors. We have 3 of our motors that are fairly new. We still have one that I'm just waiting for it to break down any minute now. But we do have a spare one in for backup. So we're good to go with our motors. And let me see.
Extended hours.
Oh, yes, and then we did extend, since we did have enough lifeguards this year, we did extend our hours. So now we had been only open Wednesday through Friday, so now we're open on Saturdays as well.
Oh, great.
So we got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and then parties for Saturdays and Sundays.
Awesome. I have
Private parties.
I have one question. What's your average of kids daily on those days you're open?
So it starts off in July. In June, we were averaging, we were depositing about $200 a week. We were probably getting about 50 kids. Towards July, the numbers did drop down. Towards the end of July, very beginning of August, I'll be honest with you, there was a couple of days where we only had like 2 or 3 people. I think one day there was nobody even showed up. I think but it was like right when they were getting ready shopping and right at the very, very end. But other than that, like I said, you know, it's not like we used to have 200 people back in
Yeah.
the day, but we're doing better. I know when I started back in the mid 90s, we used to have like maybe 20, 30 people
Yeah, I
a day.
remember that.
So we built it back up and then COVID hit, of course, and then everything dropped. So, you know, we're just trying to, it's starting hopefully to build back up.
I just wanted to put a measurement in my head because I know all this clean pool, all this, the people talk, man. So I think it'll get better, you know, as time goes by.
Well,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
all right.
I just want one small little comment, Lee. So I know at one point there was a discussion of maybe trying to invest in like a slide,
Working on
a
that.
slide, and also maybe even like adding the diving board, just kind of make it more attractive to kind of though the little profits that we're making, I mean, I will be honest, they're great, but kind of investing back, I'd rather not make a profit, just use that, invest it back into pool so we can make a bigger profit.
We're already looking into that as far as like the slide goes, working with Mondo, we got a vendor we're waiting on a quote. And I kind of even looked up some prices on some slides that I'm gonna get with Mondo.
Great.
If it's something that maybe we can do in-house to save a little bit and stuff. So there's some options that we're gonna
'Cause
go through there, but
that'll-
we gotta
that-
see.
Yeah,
The
we've
di-
always had a slide at the pool. I mean,
Yeah.
since day one, that pool had a slide.
The diving board was more of a liability issue.
The diving board, what happened with the diving board, we used to have two diving boards, one a little bit higher, then one a little bit lower. Then they just took out, then there's just one.
One of them rusted.
And one of them broke, and then the other one was very stiff. And what happened is it was too long, and people would be able to dive and hit the slope. So the insurance company and the lawyers kind of started fighting back and forth, so they took the whole thing out.
So if we can't, because we're kind of bleeding into
But
it.
I'm always thinking we could put like maybe a platform or something,
yeah.
you know,
Platform,
something for them to
something, yeah.
jump into.
So we're bleeding over onto something that should be a budgeted item.
Right.
We can't discuss it anymore. But it's a good point. I think it's something we can bring up at a later date and get us some pricing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then,
we're all for that,
yeah,
believe me.
yeah, that's fine. And then the other suggestion that I just want to throw out there, I know we can't discuss as far as the funding monies right now, but the outskirts, the building itself, I know we're working on the fence, but it needs like some paint, and we're gonna put some nice paint, make it look nice. That again will kind of be a little more attractive, because I know right now it looks nice inside once you get into the pool, but the outside, that brick, it's all like faded and the paint's all peeling off. So just working on those small little things.
110%.
Perfect. No, and I know you guys are. I just wanted to throw in there, and just on a final note, you guys are doing an awesome job. My son and my daughter love the program, the pool training. My son learned how to swim
You did real well.
this summer, and of course my daughter, and they love the volleyball leagues and all that. So it's proud to be a father and seeing the kids in these programs in Mercedes, because for a while they were kind of like dormant, and so you guys re-erected these things, and I thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
We missed the planning department, should have gone first.
Oh
Planning
yeah,
department.
that's why.
We're gonna catch up.
Yeah, let's straighten out Dr. Saldaña's rock. Put it back in place, man.
That's right.
I apologize, Doc.
Yeah, you can't let the green beans go over into the mashed
To the
potato
corn,
section.
mashed potatoes, yeah. Go ahead, Denise. Sorry I skipped you. My
No,
apologies.
it's okay. This has been very good for planning. We have been solving a lot of internal issues, figuring out what works for us, and if anything needs to be changed, we've been making those changes little by little. This year we have collected more revenue than last fiscal year, and this is revenue that not only goes to planning, but also goes to other departments such as Parks, Public Works, and the Water Department. We did not have as many new construction, but that's because we're preparing subdivisions. This year was all about preparing subdivisions, getting them to get developed. So we just been waiting on them. But we did get a lot more commercial construction. We did have the new Dollar General. The shops on Mercedes got their permits, so they're starting construction already. And this year, something that we didn't have before was the sludge hauler permits. So this year we issued out 29 permits, and we collected 21,610 from them. We have 102 new business license. So in total this year, we issued out 256 new business license, and we had 37 new businesses open in the city.
So if we can go back on the permits for the sludge haulers. In the past, I mean, we've had some years where we've had at least 4 spills, and those spills are being cleaned by the city. We have to do traffic control. We have to go and clean it, that oil on the ground is not easy. It smells for days. And so all that revenue there is going to be utilized for making sure we have the capacity to go clean up whatever spills. And we do still have them once in a while.
This year also we finalized voluntary annexing 13 acres since 2015, we didn't have much annexations. The last one was in 2015. Last year, we annexed about 300 and some acres, and then this year we finalized annexing 13. Another thing that internally we weren't doing was the weedy lots. So we weren't really filing the liens. So the last fiscal year and this year, we started filing those liens. We also weren't scanning the files for the weedy lots. So now we're internally putting them all in the system so they're quicker to find, and they will be scanned in our system forever. And with that, filing liens and working with our legal department and Purdue, we collected $19,000 just in revenue from those weedy lot liens that were never filed.
I want to make sure, I'm pretty positive you've already done this. I just want to make sure you get it off your chest. We do have a procedure in place that when it is taken care of or remedied, we're getting it off of the liens at the county, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Condemned properties was another big thing, or chief building official has been working this past fiscal year. This year, he got 23 demolitions, all voluntary demolitions. Condemned property, this year he had 23 properties in his list, and he got 6 to comply with not costing the city money. Other ones are working on complying, but they weren't finalized, being completely fixed or remodeled or demolished. We did have 19 full remodels of those properties that he was going after, and all of those full remodels and general repairs, we do ask them to put the 2 off-street vehicle driveway so they can comply with the ordinance that we have. And another thing we weren't doing was the homestead removal. These are properties that they claim that they live there and they have a homestead and they weren't paying taxes to the city. So this year we removed 14. And we already submitted 27 to the county, but we're waiting until January 2nd for them to see if they remove that homestead and they're forced to pay the taxes to us.
This is houses that are not,
No one's
they're
living
either
in them.
rented, nobody's living there or whatever, and they're still claiming homestead.
Yes.
Good job.
In the past, nobody was looking at
Oh,
that.
yeah, no, it's obvious that, and kudos to you, Albert, and your staff, but all this stuff that I'm seeing is just all new stuff that's already there, just nobody was doing anything about it, and I think it's fantastic. The condemned properties, I know it's probably in there. I saw 23, are all those within the same numbers, or each one of those is a separate group of numbers?
So it's a different group of numbers.
Wow, okay, wow, okay.
So for the demolitions, I know most of them were in his list at the beginning of the fiscal year. So those were properties he were seeing, and we were working with them, and we waived permit fees, and we tried to help them out and see if they can contact someone that can help them for like cheaper price. So all of that Alvaro has been doing and helping them demolish those
I know I've
buildings.
seen a lot of empty lots. Well, I mean, that's a lot to me. I've seen at least 7 or 8. And then I think they're building 2 on Virginia, and so I know it's moving. Good deal.
And then subdivisions, this fiscal year, we still have 4 subdivisions under construction. We finalized 4 subdivisions, and this year was all preparing for the next year to follow. So it was just meeting with a lot of developers, realtors, engineers, all that they want to develop. So we're just preparing for the next years to come so we can start building those houses already.
So do we have any indication through permitting if they've already sold some of those lots to people? Or does that come after they?
It comes after. So we usually get those numbers off from the water department once they open the
That's what I
account.
was- Okay. Under somebody else's name other than the builders. Have we seen any of that? Any increase in that?
Yes, so I added to the Google Earth map that I gave you access, so you can
Yeah.
see the numbers in there. I update it once
Just
a month.
estimation. Do you know how many we've?
And Hacienda Livia, I think they have 23 building permits, and around 50 or 16 of them are already sold.
Wow.
And Valley Ranch, we're also seeing it. So phase 1, we already have about 10. That one's has been a little bit harder for them to sell, so it's been taking a
That's the
little
one
while.
over there on mile 1, right?
The Palladium, that's the batteries out on mile 2. So that's finally going to happen. Is that moving?
Yes,
or-
so they finalized the plat, and they said it was gonna take them roughly a year for them to properly submit to build it.
And I couldn't, I'm trying to figure out, I know what the incentive behind them was for us, but It is a taxed entity, right? We're gonna tax them on their electricity, or how does that, what they sell, or is there, if you're not familiar, I apologize, but I don't know if we got to that point yet. of how we're
No, I
making-
think right now they just wanted to do the minor plat, subdivide the property, get it all ready, and they
Okay.
haven't submitted anything to us
And
yet.
then they'll tell us what it's worth, not necessarily what they sell.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Is that it?
Yes.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Well
Appreciate
done,
it.
ma'am, well done.
Good job.
I had a question on the,
For her?
well, no, not for,
Oh,
but
okay, go ahead.
but it's parks, but it's with Mando. I know it's different parks.
Yes,
Just
he's not
parks.
up yet. So we got
He's
PD
on
now,
there, though.
police department?
Is he gonna read all 20 of these pages or no? Okay.
That was a quick no.
Quick update, sir.
give you the
Cliff
PD
notes,
accomplishments,
bro.
not the fishing accomplishments, since we'll be here all night. So. Anyways, good evening, Mayor, Commission. So I'm gonna give a quick highlight as to some of the accomplishments and also some of the highlights throughout like the events and stuff that we've done. It's taken a lot of our really our planning phases and time with all the staff. But I'm gonna go ahead and I invited Lieutenant Diaz over because a big part of our involvement in our PD is grants. So essentially, this is how he can give you a rough rundown as to the grants that he works on a daily basis, which ones got awarded, and how we kind of operate those grants. And I just kind of wanted to give you an idea, a quick little rundown on those grants real quick. So I'm going to let Lieutenant Diaz speak on that.
So some of the grants that we received, obviously through Operation Stone Garden, we received last year over 100,000 in monies. Obviously that goes into overtime and with the vehicles. Last year we were able to acquire 2 fully equipped UTVs, all right, for the police department. Operation Lone Star, this year, as a matter of fact, we received over 200,000 in funding. With it, we were gonna end up getting LPRs for license plate readers. Last year, we got the bullet resistant shield program that was awarded with over 138,000 in monies that we acquired 20 shields that all went into the patrol units, right, and to the school resource officers.
That's every vehicle, right?
That's
Every vehicle
to the
got a shield?
vehicles, yes. We also ended up acquiring a rifle resistant body armor grant that was over 24,000. So we were able to acquire 16 rifle vests for the department. We also got an additional body worn camera grant as well. The step comp grant as well that was over $10,000. Border security grant with over 30,000 in overtime. Those are some of the grants again that we have in it.
Who's working
Got it right
on
now.
these grants?
I work the grants along with the Border Affairs. That helped me out submitting to the.
Well, I wanted to tell you, this is really good stuff, man.
Yeah, one of the ones that we're currently working on is the bullet shield grant for the vehicles, bullet
Yeah.
components. Yes, so we're in works on that one.
And
to
I got,
outfit vehicles.
and maybe you guys, and probably the mayor could also chime in on it. How long do we anticipate the Operation Stone Garden to be available? I mean, is this something that's going to continue, or do we foresee?
This is continuing every year.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, we are right now for fiscal year 25, which is for next year.
Yeah.
Already in the works, in awards about 85 grand on that.
At
They
this
got
point,
bumped up a little bit.
At this point, Chief and Diaz, I think this grant's helped us out a lot in a lot of areas of what we needed. How comfortable do you think we're at this point as far as, I guess what I'm trying to get at is are we pretty sound here, or are there still things that we need that some of these grants can help us out with? I know you mentioned the license plate reader. That's obviously a big one, right? But is there anything that we could really utilize at this point? I just want to make sure that we're getting, everything we can. I mean, forbid that, you know, this expires or next year something's not available to us. So are we utilizing this properly? Are we taking care of all of our needs that we need at the department?
It just depends on what the governor's office puts out as far as funding and
Okay.
where it goes to.
Mhm.
And then we obviously go after those. If it pertains to the department, if we can use it, then we'll go after it.
So Diaz, you're the one working on this grant in particular, right?
So one of the other ones that we're also working on is the State Land Home Security Grant, which is to outfit the existing PD with an EOC.
But how do you guys go about finding these grants? Is it you in particular, or is it Border Affairs that's coming up with it, or
Both of us.
how does this work?
Both of us, if I pretty much look into on the e-grants,
Okay,
from time to time, and then when I get alerts notified by email, if this is something that we can utilize, I go to the chief, so forth. We end up setting meetings with Border Affairs, and doing a bit of research before we go after this grant and then get the final approval,
okay.
and then we'll go after it.
I'm just making sure that we're not doing all the legwork here, that there is some sort of, you know, hey, check this grant out or something of that nature.
We go hand in hand, yeah, with Border Affairs. I utilize them a lot, and they've been
Okay.
helping out a lot.
Very well.
Yeah.
Good job, Diaz.
And I wanted to highlight that just because all credit to Lieutenant Diaz. He's been doing this for a while when it comes to the grants, and our involvement is like when he brings these grants up and he brings them to my table, and then it's us like as a team we just deploy out scheduling for the overtime for Stone Garden, Border Star, STEP grant, and all these other management of things. But this takes up a big part of our agency, and I just want to reassure everyone. One, what he works on daily basis, because it's a big responsibility, Mayor. I'm sure you're very familiar with that. It's a big responsibility, and really just wanted to highlight where the monies come and how we deploy them out. For starters, I know in our municipal court, on the date that we ran it through was January of last year to up to now. We're currently at $217,000 in collected fees, fines. I think mid-year, what ended up helping us a little bit was the New and Blue project that we brought in for the ticket writers. We're now, we got officers' tablets. We're giving away QR codes, and pretty much they just scan that QR code with their cell phone, and it automatically gives them a link directly to the municipal court, take a plea, and pay their citation faster. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Did it look?
He jumped on it.
Oh,
That's
it's
why I
okay.
was like,
Look like
whoa,
I had
wait.
a question. I'm trying to remember what those figures were in years past. You know, annualized revenue at municipal court, and I don't think it was anywhere close to that, was it?
No, I can go back and I don't
wanna
have it
say
in front
was
of me,
somewhere
but
in the neighborhood of 80,000. That's
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 70,000, something
I
like
can
that.
go back and find out.
And so,
but-
how much would you attribute the increase to making it easier for people to settle up, as opposed to anything we're doing in municipal court to kind of?
Well,
to
one of the
collect?
things is, and I did anticipate this change, and I want to say I had brought this up when we got our new building. Part of it is the building that people just go up to the front and pay it. When we were at the old area, nobody was going to show up and pay a ticket. I know that it sounds silly, but it's a big
No,
improvement just being
there was no
centralized.
access to the office.
Yeah, and there was no access to it, and
that,
there was
that
anything.
that gate alone.
Yeah.
Make an appointment.
So,
and they didn't know
so
where
the
it was.
building it plays a big contributing factor. Having somebody in that front window plays a
Right here in
contributing
town,
factor.
yeah.
Yes. Having the bailiff there, the warrant officer, doing these things. I know that people get all these Purdue letters on a daily basis. So, it's contributing a little bit of everything together.
Okay.
Does this impact? And then now, having these ticket writers where officers, it should take the officer less than 5 minutes to give a citation. That plays a big role in some of these, in
Paying
how we
for
collecting
itself.
fines. Yes, sir. So I really wanted to highlight on that. We did get a new patrol vehicle, SG-15. It's a Ford F-150. I think some of y'all have seen it. I was questioned on it not too long ago. It is an equipped unit. It's out and about. It gets used for our Stone Garden operation. So that's something new that we added. Obviously, our new in blue, which is the citation writer. One of the things that we did, because I'm speaking about it on a yearly basis, we did wrap obviously our autism unit that y'all are very familiar with, and you saw that got a huge hit. It was requested all over the place. It still gets requested every now and then. So we're, if you see that unit, I think countywide and towards Cameron side as well. You kind of gets requested everywhere to this day. Some of the recognitions that we got, obviously I presented not too long ago our FBI Trilogy Award for our supervisors. We were recognized at the Border Patrol Station in Weslaco very recently. The PD was given really an acknowledgement of the work. That Weslaco office has reached out a lot based on operations that the Lieutenant, Sergeant Cuba, and the other supervisors run. They go out and work really the hot areas of Mercedes. They use the Polarises a lot. They go on South 491, work the banks, the levees, everything. So they've been really helping them out. They were very impressed with our equipment. To be honest with you, they're impressed with our Polarises. They're impressed with our drone systems. They're impressed with all that stuff. So now they're reaching out to us more than anybody, and they were using us as an example of how to work with other agencies want to work with, because they're using us as that key point with our federal partners, which is, I think it's good to hear that and get called and get recognized for things like that. So that was also pretty cool. We do have our disability sticker program recognition, which what we do is, I know we had talked about a team to put insignias on the back of like bumpers and things like that of vehicles and in homes. Sergeant Cuba took the initiative to kind of put it together after we analyzed it. He got with the right people, started seeing what was out there, brought it into the team. And now at random times, I go in there and I do see the plaques around. I'm not sure if y'all seen them, but we do have them for autism, schizophrenia, diabetic, things for other disabilities. Yes. So that's also still very much alive. So that still goes on. We had promotions throughout the year. Sergeant Cuba was promoted as Sergeant Alejandro Bocanegra, and one of our other sergeants, Sergeant Gonzalez. We did appoint an investigator. We got a new position for our grant through the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office Auto Theft Task Force. So we do have somebody assigned over there. She's in and out. But I can say, and I don't have them here in front of me in this sector, in this aisle, but I can tell you that our numbers have dropped drastically after this unit came about. So we're not getting hit the way we were at our outlet mall and our local businesses and residences. And I'm not sure if throughout the county, Mayor, like what that looks like over there, but I know in Mercedes, our numbers have gone down a lot. I used to get, 3 to 4 a week. And then at one point we were reaching, by 15 a month or more. And now it's kind of rare when they brief me that there's a stolen vehicle in town, to be honest with you. So that obviously without providing the actual stats, provides a big, picture of the impact that it's doing.
Been very successful.
Yes. I know there's a lot of trainings that we've sent all our officers, so we were able to also get all our officers through their mandated courses early in compliance with TCO. But taking it up a notch, we did send officers to more ICS training. I think that we exhaust that a lot in our ICS and our training with the fire department. Sex offender registration training and toxilizer training. Our TCO conference, which really just myself, Sergeant Cuba, and Lieutenant Diaz attend, because we want to be up to date with the state mandates. When it comes to TCO, what we do. Other specialized trainings like drone, sports and events evacuation and protective actions training. Another thing I want to highlight real quick is the way we're doing our recruitment. We've sent Rene, who has the years of experience and comes from another agency, who retired from a way bigger agency than us. He goes to these academies and expresses his experience here in Mercedes, and kind of compares it to his agency without saying too much, because I know he's not here and I would like for you to hear it from him. But he really appreciates us here as a city, not just the department, but the whole city. He's always voicing how we're so different from the agency where he retired from. Where here, I think we empathize, we listen, right, and we treat it more like a family-oriented type of agency. and it makes the employee morale, I think, a boost, and they like working here. And he goes and builds that up to the new upcoming cadets. So that does a good thing. The cadets come and meet with Christine. They leave her the applications, and then, like, for example, we just had interviews. We had some from the academies, and then we have some that are even more interested, but they don't graduate in December. Quick rundown. There's a whole list of events that I can go on, but I'm sure y'all are very familiar with most of our events that we go and we attend. But we try not to miss any. So we're here weekends, Saturday. If it's Sunday, we're here. Not to mention all the night outs and every city event that we have the planning to do. We're there. We've done some where I know we gave some supplies, and we did a quick little thing there on our north side at our much needed location. I mean, I can go down the list of how many we've gotten, but it's just, yeah, I think what I want to highlight is the importance of the guys kind of sacrificing their time all the time away from family, always being in all the events.
So I want,
Do you mind mentioning your current project with Textile, which allows
Yes.
staff to go out there and earn some overtime? And
Yes.
Very well paid.
So at one point, we were faced with that challenge, obviously, of officers, trying to seek jobs upstate for traffic detail. So now we have that here. So we partnered up with a TxDOT and a third-party company where officers can go and get paid by them to work the traffic details, and then that's
So you're
another.
not poaching no more.
No, sir.
What's the pay?
It's $50 an hour, so it's good. They'll go out there and, sometimes they're needed for 12 hours. Sometimes they're needed just for 10. So that's something, that's another thing that we have going on.
well, I think, Chief, real quick, all of this is great, the grants, all that stuff, but, to have that much money and grant out there, working grant, and then to do all the things that you guys do in all the locations, they see you all everywhere. I think it's, I think you're one of the leaders, obviously, of the group of chiefs of police down here. And it's very evident because you guys are everywhere, not only you all, but your fellow chiefs. So make sure that your staff knows that we do notice, we do see them out there. I don't think people understand. When you have a city like ours that has so much things that it does, it's great. Everybody wants to have a function. Everybody wants to have all that. Everybody wants to have a stock show or a big parade at their, but they don't realize how much of the manpower, how much the people don't get to go home. And I can tell you that we talk about you guys often in that, and the whole staff, even our public works guys and everybody. So make sure the guys know how appreciative we are of them. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else got any questions?
Great work. Y'all are a great source of pride for our community.
Yep.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep. Today I was at the Jaime's tire shop, and one of your guys passed by, and he goes, no por nada, hijo, pero los cops de nosotros, they're good, man. So I'll take that as a compliment anytime, man.
Yeah.
We got good cops, he goes.
Yeah,
All right.
we're good fishermen too.
No por nada.
No por nada, but we got good cops.
City Secretary? All right, 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's a write-up for the chief of police and the parks guy. No, not the parks guy, but the. Go ahead, Josh.
Okay, I'm just gonna talk about the ordinances that we approved this year was 39. We did 40, but one of them didn't pass. We have a total of 29 resolutions that got approved. A lot of them were for the PD and their grants. The certificates of obligation are also included in there. We renewed, I believe there is about 17 engineers on the rotation list. The city prosecutor, the USW was an amendment, and the new contracts would be like the judge and the IPAWs are new contracts. On our improvements, we've been working on digitizing a lot of our processes, so that way it's easier to track. That includes like our ordinances, our contracts, our
Agendas?
the agendas. Yes, thank you, sir. Our agendas, we got a civic clerk, which you all can use now. Let's see, what else? our claims are also easier to track. And the new vehicles that we received this year, for this fiscal year, we have 2 units for the planning department and a trailer. The PD received a Polaris, the towers, and 1 unit. The parks received 1 unit. Public Works, 1 trailer, a backhoe, the skid steer, the 3 light towers, and a Laymore. The meter readers received 2 units, and the fire department 2 units, an ambulance, and a brush truck. Is what we insured this year.
Standing.
From the auction, we received 15,661 that we got to bring. It was more, but the payment that we give them, and then the advertising. So it was about 20,000 that we made in total.
This is all cars and old
Junk.
equipment and stuff, junk.
Yes, all surplus items. I did a new claim reporting form for incidents that happen. That's what's been helping me track my claims that have come in. That is new, and it has a lot more information, instead of having to go and contact people and asking them for more information. So that's helped out a lot. We've also done a incident management team with HR, us and HR, and we've also, that's it. What we're working on is we're doing our open records more we're moving to next request. So right now what we do is we have an Excel sheet and we log every single open records that comes in. But the next request is now going to be online. They can just request it there. It'll log it themselves, and we'll get all that information and be able to track it. Whether if we're on time, if we're late, all that information will be on there.
So you're automating your process.
Yes.
Do we have, I have a question on the, actually kind of a question statement on the essential employees. Do we have an essential employees, policy for emergencies? Right, that one, and the other one is, training for all the department heads to go to ICS training. So I don't know, I'll talk to the chief about it.
Our chief does send those out. Our chief.
It needs to be
fire
mandatory.
chief.
Yeah, it needs to be mandatory. It doesn't be sent out. It needs to be mandatory. And then we need to work on an essential employees list, because last year when we called up people and they didn't show up to emergency, that can't be. So we need to get a hold of that. So I'll talk to the chief. I'll send an email out there too. I just thought about it right now. Because I was thinking of something else that we're doing at the office, and I just remember we need to do that essential. I had talked about it last year, but I didn't follow up on it. So, all right, I'll send you an email tomorrow.
And the basic courses are online, so.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
I mean, you scoop everybody up in one room and you all take it together and.
Yep. The department head.
Onions and potato chips while you do it too.
Yeah. The department heads needs to go to. The department heads need to go to
not that
300.
hard.
Yeah, the department head needs to go to the 4-day, but everybody else can do the, like you said,
Online.
the 800-900. It's no problem. So, all right, thank you. Good job, Joss.
Parks.
The looking ahead part.
Parks.
Armando.
Good evening. For the record, again, my name is Armando Viela. I'm the director for parks here for the city of Mercedes. So I did just want to go over briefly some of the stuff that we were able to accomplish this year. I included several things in y'all's packet. I'm not going to go over everything. One of the first things that I included was the initial report that the breakdown that I did when I first started. So I just completed 1 year with the city of Mercedes
Wow,
about a month and a
congratulations.
half ago. So
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
you've done a good job, sir.
You're almost out of probation.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. They're almost going to keep me, sir. So. But the first one was, like I said, a breakdown just of the deficiencies that I found within the parks. It was mostly on the neighborhood parks. Some of the larger parks I didn't include on that. I had it in a separate file. So I'm just going to go over the first sheet, which is, just a list of things that I had wrote down. Obviously, these are not all the things that we worked on, but just some of the things that I wanted to highlight. So when I initially started with Mercedes, the first project that landed on my lap was the Urban County project at the Dome. So that project had already been funded. It was just about to get started, so I kind of just took it over or inherited it, I guess. But we were able to complete that project, which lighted the area for the soccer fields there outside of the Dome, and also the area around the pavilion where the basketball courts are. So those lights have really come in handy. I get compliments on those lights a lot about the kids out there practicing and playing, even when we don't have our programs going on. I know that Richard and Martin use them a lot for their rec programs, but we also have like the Taifa football and, baseball or, surrounding cities that come out there and they also
I go out
practice.
there the other day, I was doing something at night, and I wanted to go show my wife, and she was amazed at what we had out there.
It's
at
coming
night.
along.
Very nice.
It's really coming along. So, also at the Dome, we made the repairs to the basketball court. So I know that I showed that as well, right? So the basketball court was in rough shape as far as the surfacing went. There was no surfacing. There was a lot of cracks on the cement foundation. So we did have a contractor come in. They sealed all the cracks. They coated it over. They did the surfacing, and then we went back and painted and striped the lines. So this is the lighting at the Dome. This is what it looks like at night, just in the open play area. So it does look really nice. This is the basketball court on the left-hand side. You can see what it used to look like. On the bottom left-hand side, you see the cracks. The gaps were actually pretty large. So one of the things that I agreed on with the contractor was that they would actually open up the cracks and clear out whatever was in there so that the ceiling can
It'd be
actually get
smooth.
into
Yep.
the cracks. Yes.
Good deal.
And then we came back and coated it, and then the surfacing with the striping. We're looking at hopefully painting the City of Mercedes logo on that basketball court here pretty soon.
Outstanding.
Also at the basketball court, we purchased the LED lights. So I know that we do have lighting around the perimeter in the field, around the perimeter of the shelter. But what we did also is for every one of those beams, we purchased some outdoor lighting. So that's one that we're working on right now. The electricians are going to be installing the LED lights that we'll have inside the shade shelter. So that way that basketball court will be playable at night. One of the things that I've discussed with Maureen, I know he has an adult basketball league that operates there. So we've talked about possibly having some men's 3-on-3 tournaments, youth 3-on-3 tournaments, 5-on-5 tournaments, but outdoors when it's a little more fresh outside, not during the summer, but maybe around this time of the year, we can start to use it also for our own programs. So I have here the removal of non-compliant unsafe playground equipment. At HEB Park, there was 2 playgrounds when I initially started with the City of Mercedes. We had the playground vendor come in and do an assessment. After I did my initial assessment, they deemed that old playground, which is on the bottom right-hand side of that slide there, was unsafe. I got quotes to get that repaired. The cost of the repairs was gonna be more than purchasing a new structure, so we went ahead and just decided to remove it. And right now, we're currently just with the one, but we're also looking at options to install some new playground equipment. at that.
Quick question, Armando, if you don't mind. And I know we've had the discussion as far as, but right now that you're saying that you're gonna go get some of this new equipment. How about, is some of this stuff gonna be, I know we've spoken about maybe doing the, like, all-inclusive?
Yes, sir.
Right, so since we're gonna go ahead and already buy equipment, why don't we just go ahead and just make it, start going that all-inclusive route? And
Yes, sir.
then that area could be like an inclusive area, and I think that'll be great.
Yes, I agree. So I think the standard would be that we start, anything that we're installing new construction moving forward would have some kind of inclusivity, right? So
Because we're gonna have, there's this one little area where it's gonna have to, it's too small, or it's already messed up, right? I think it's already, so we're gonna have to just, if we're gonna go new, just make it all inclusive. That way, that's the little inclusive area.
Yeah. And like I said, I think at any of our facilities, any new playground equipment that we install, we wanna, include some kind of inclusivity for
Right.
kids with special needs. So we did remove that playground, leveled off the area. We did that in-house. We repaired the swings. That was another thing that I had noticed when we first started. There wasn't very many swings at our playgrounds. They had been removed. So if you'll see On this slide here, you can see where we did the installation of the swings. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses, so I can't really see the screen exactly
right.
which one I'm.
Lower right.
Lower right.
Lower right, yes, sir. So what we did is from the old playground that was removed, it still had the barriers that were in good shape. So we recycled those barriers, reused them. We purchased the additional so that we can actually enclose the swings. We came back and we backfilled it, and then we also did the molds to have the safety surfacing. So that swing set is, operable, and it's also in compliance. So that was a big one for us. Out of our 9 playgrounds that we had when I started here, we're down to 8, but 7 of those are non-compliant. When I started, all 9 were non-compliant. 7 of them are compliant. 1 of them is that we're still working on, right? So we
Which
went
one's
from
that one?
the one that we're working on is going to be at Collier Park. So we have 2 small playgrounds. We've assessed them, so the equipment is okay. The only thing that we need to do is the surfacing. So we've already, since when I started, I hadn't had the chance to be involved in the budgeting. The budget was already set, so I was kind of navigating through what was in the proposed budget for this fiscal year that just passed. So we weren't able to accomplish that part, but we already have the pricing, and we'll get that done here now that this new fiscal year opened up. So 7 out of the 9 are now compliant. 1 of them has been removed, and then the 8th, like I said, we'll get that done here in the next month or so. Another thing that we did was we established fees and passed the ordinances through, with y'all's help, for the rental of the baseball fields at Collier Park. That was a big one, and I should have got that number from finance so y'all can know exactly how much we generated. I know it's between 700 to 900. It's not a lot of money, but either way, the little bit that we're recouping, that's money that we're going to use for chalk, for paint, fertilizers, anything that we happen to need. We'll let that build up a little bit, and that way we can kind of get those fields to be self-sustained.
And sponsorships, I know we had discussed maybe just going and just permanent sponsors or annual sponsors as well, and
Yes,
that'll
sir.
kind of go back and.
So Richard and I are working on that for the scoreboards. I know that he's needing to get the scoreboard replaced at the dome, and when I spoke to him, I said I'd like to do the same with the baseball field. So
Yeah,
we don't have
panels or the
scoreboards.
boards on the fence.
So that's one
from
way
the
of
Little League.
generating the money, right? Is to reach out to local vendors and anybody who wants to sponsor. We also were awarded on the KMB side. I'm with Parks, but I do oversee the KMB board. We were awarded a couple of grants this year. The 5,000 grant that was awarded to us through the HEB Trees for Texans. So if you go to our parks, you'll notice that we have these pollinator butterfly gardens within our parks. That's where that's coming from. So we're using that money. We've grown the number of volunteers, and if you all want that number, I could send that to you later. I know that we've established another way of getting these volunteers signed up. We've generated a QR code, so now at any event that they're at, we get these people to sign up. They scan the QR code, it takes them to the link. They're able to register if they need volunteer hours, or if they just want to volunteer throughout the city of Mercedes. And we have plenty of work with Keep Mercedes Beautiful that we can, give volunteer hours. We were also awarded 24,000 through the National Wildlife Federation for enhancement, restoration, and beautification. That'll be used also. It's being used throughout the parks. We're going to do some sprucing up of the front of City Hall. I know some of the money is going to go to the library. We want to do some work over at Mercedes PD and possibly the fire also, to do some landscaping just to spruce up the buildings and make them a little aesthetically more pleasing. We recently were awarded a grant as part of Region 1 through Texas A&M Forest Service. So that's going to be the grant that we spoke about the last time that I presented, right? So it's the grant is up to roughly about 1.2 million. That's going to be divided within 8 cities, Mercedes being one of them. That will award City of Mercedes 600 trees to be used throughout the city, right? And within those 600 trees, we will be allocating a certain portion of those to be distributed to residents as well.
Would they allow us to use some of that money? I would hate to get rid of those trees, but they're just chewing up all our sidewalk. The ones that are downtown, those oak trees.
Yes, sir.
Would it allow us to remove?
So Mr. Perez had already spoken to
great.
me about that as well. So we are going to be setting aside some trees for that. And I'm working on starting the removal of those trees and getting those sidewalks repaired. And then we'll come up with a plan as well of what we can replant there, because it's not a lot of space. So we wouldn't want to replant oak trees
I
or
don't think
anything with
planting
large
anything
roots.
there is a good idea, man. I don't
But if there's any areas on the intersections or anything like that where we are able to plan something to give it, some aesthetics, then we'll do that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
The other thing we developed, we finalized the conceptuals for HEB Park as well. So we were getting the grant application ready to submit to Texas Parks and Wildlife. So we got pretty much everything that we need. I know that they're going to be opening up another round of grants here in a couple months. So we'll continue to, aggressively.
Did we get the last one or?
We did not.
We did not.
No,
Okay.
but we'll.
Try to put it all together in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was a little short notice. We managed to get mostly
for the next
everything
one.
in line, but we'll be ready for the next one. So
This time we got engineering and everything, right?
yes, sir.
That's great.
Yeah, so we have everything ready to go. So now we'll just continue to keep, aggressively seeking those grants. I know that there's other grants that have come up that we can also, like Valley Baptist Legacy Foundation.
Right.
There's other organizations that other grants that we can pursue as well. Now that we have our conceptuals, we have everything in place.
Mondo, have you done a strategic look at the Civic Center and all that as to like parking and all that we've ever talked about? Okay.
Yes,
good.
sir. So
That's what I wanna make sure.
what I have here as far as the conceptuals for HEB, that's included. So there's 2 or 3 different options as far as parking. One of the things that I was recommending is that middle entrance be closed off.
Yes.
We come back and, we do fill.
Redesign the whole
And
parking.
we redesign the park, yes. So that way, the basketball courts are there, the playground's there. The last thing we would want is, a kid to bolt out into that area. You got cars coming in and out. So just, for the safety. And then we also want to install sidewalks, for the accessibility part of it. Sidewalks going north and south along Second Street.
Mario Prado.
Oh, yeah, okay, yes. So we're gonna do sidewalks along there with the parking lot. I think it's about 100 new spaces that we would add
I think
plus
we need to
lighting.
avoid crisscrossing, especially when a park's used at night. Crisscrossing driveway with
Walking trails.
I'm sure you already thought
Yeah,
about that.
yes, sir. Yeah, so that's also included in the conceptual. So
Awesome.
we're gonna be going after, hopefully this year we'll submit applications for HEB and we'll do the same for the dome because I know that we had the sports park that was the conceptuals that had already been worked on. So we're gonna keep working off of those
With-
and just modify them as we go.
Yeah, I know we've also had this discussion as far as having like the size of this room, for instance. What would you say this room is? The size of this?
I'd say about 60 by pretty squared almost about, yeah,
60 by 8. Yeah, 60 by
So I know like
360 square
or
feet.
even like
somewhere around there.
let's just say like we've had a discussion of maybe doing like the small little dog park, even if it was like 30 by 30 or something. But it would be more of low cost where we would just with the fence and just adding a few little things and then slowly. I mean, I'm a cat guy. I'm more of a cat guy, but
So
a
that's
dog
actually
park,
in the
just
conceptual for
the
HEB.
fence.
I have that included in the conceptuals and I can share that with you as well, sir. So in the conceptuals for HEB, besides the parking, the lighting, we did include a new playscape and then also a
Perfect.
small area for a dog park. as
Right.
well.
Awesome.
Got it covered.
A lot cheaper in a water park.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, I
like
want the
it.
water park
I
too.
like that one.
So just on this slide, I just wanted to highlight some of the broken components, right? We had a lot of broken benches, slides that were not saved, broken swings, like I mentioned. So as of now, everything that I had found, for the most part, we're about 90% done through that initial deficiency report. So those repairs have pretty much all been completed. Anywhere where we did have to remove a playscape, a slide, or swings, we're already looking at replacing or adding some other kind of amenity for that park or that area.
I like to compliment Armando for focusing on compliance.
Yeah.
That is such an important topic because if you have things that are exposed, rough edges, kids can get hurt.
Well,
And so that's avoiding that unnecessary exposure.
across every report we've heard, at least for where it applies, it's the whole issue of deferred maintenance thing is we're making strides, whether it's at the recreation center or the dome or the parks or whatever. Things are getting fixed and we're getting ahead of those things and staying ahead of them, and big ticket items, the ACs and roofs and things like that. So yeah.
One thing that I did notice, Mondo, here just recently, at one of the neighborhood parks at Saladino, there was actually, I hadn't seen kids out there playing in the park in a while. And there was a group of about maybe 10 kids playing football out there, you know, maybe about a week ago. My only concern there at that park is that there's no lighting. Is that something that we're working on?
Yes, sir, we are. Actually, there is an AP light there. It's just broken.
Yes.
So I've already submitted a work order with AP to get that hopefully retrofitted to LEDs. So they'll come out and swap the lamp, kind of like what we did at Collier. And then looking into possibly some solar lighting, so we don't have to bring in any power to the park, but with, you know, there's solar lights that we can maybe strategically place, 1 or 2 in that park, that would help a lot with that.
Okay, because I know at times, you know, when I've gotten a couple of calls from some of the people in there, you know, at night, you know, there's people there at the park, you know, that are smoking weed. You know, by the time PD shows up, you know, they're gone.
Yeah. The
But
light
you- but
definitely
it's-
helps with that. Yeah.
yeah.
With any kind of activity that you don't want in the park, usually they want to go and hide, right? So if it's well lit, there's not very much place to hide.
Correct.
Definitely, we'll continue to work on that, sir. So this is kind of what our playgrounds look like now. The bottom left is the dome. There are neighborhood parks, right? So we've added mulch. We've had the guys pressure wash them. We sanitized them. They were in really rough shape after we removed whatever was broken. So if you take a drive out there, I'm sure you should see some difference from where we started, right? We've come a long way. This is Collier Park. So we did, through Urban County also, we purchased and installed 4 shade structures for the bleachers. The bottom photo is, Mercedes School District used our fields for a tournament. They actually, I sent a picture to Mr. Perez. They had sent me messages complimenting us because they had to play out there in the day. And they were happy that we had the shade structures. I guess the last time they used them, you know, the parents were with umbrellas, sitting in the sun or finding shade under the trees. So they weren't actually up on the bleachers using them. This allows them to actually use the bleachers.
Significantly improved, man.
So that was a big one for us too. So we did, on my list also is just, you know, we completed the photometrics for HEB Park and the Dome. So the trails are big, you know, obviously getting people outdoors, walking, using our trails. The more traffic we can have in the parks, I think is better. It kind of deters the people that are out there possibly vandalizing or doing things like that. And that's a big one also. I know we have been getting a lot of vandalism and that's gone down quite a bit. I haven't, knock on wood, right, but we haven't had anything vandalized. We hadn't had any restrooms, you know, graffitied or anything like that. So, you know, I think that the more traffic that we get in the park, that just, you know, helps that as well. So,
And have we stopped locking the restrooms at?
well, we had been, sir. Right now, what we're doing is at the Dome, we leave them open until about 8 o'clock when Richard's staff leaves. They're the last ones to leave the park and they close them. And then I think I mentioned we've been working with Frank, Chief of Police was very open to helping us out as far as, so we're not having to bring a staff member in daily after hours to close, that he would have somebody go by and close them.
That's
So
great.
we've since gone to combination locks just to make things easier, right? So if, you know, for they need to get in or they need to open or close, it's just a phone call. We're not having to send a maintenance guy out here with the key.
People like normalcy. So when you have a set time and even if they don't like it, even if, well, it's too early or whatever, but when it's a set time and we have our hours of operation, then they know that at 8 o'clock, there's not going to be any bathrooms. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But if we put that and then at 6 we close it, so I like that. Good job on that, on working with the PD. I was gonna say, I don't know what the cost differential is between structures and the equipment we buy, but given the way the heat has gotten lately, whatever you believe is doing it, I'm wondering if we should just cover all I don't know what the cost is. Is it just cheaper to replace swings and gyms and all that stuff, or is it more cost effective to cover it
It's
with
more
permanent
cost
structure
effective to cover it.
and then just replace the awnings when they give out, right? As
Yeah,
opposed
and-
to the whole thing.
And it also helps us score a lot higher on the grant applications. So if you include shade for the kids, you know, things that's gonna help the equipment last you longer, you know, give them longer life, that helps us score higher on the grant application. So like any new structures that we're gonna install, it's gonna come with
With a
hopefully
cover.
with
All
shade
right,
as well.
glad you thought about it before I did.
Um,
Good deal.
So we did the photometrics of the trails, right? So we have them in place. We have pricing already, so those will also be included in our grant applications. I know that we're going to work on HEB through some of the funding that we do have. HEB Trail has security lighting throughout the trail. That's AEP. So what we're gonna do is just go fill in the dark spaces with solar lighting.
Good.
My last thing is that, my last two things, we completed the assessment of our exercise equipment, right? So we had a lot of broken exercise components. I was able to track down most of the vendors of that sold that exercise equipment to the city. I had 2 vendors come in from San Antonio. We did an assessment, took pictures. Right now, what I'm waiting on is for them to award us the warranty on those parts, and then whatever's not warranty, then we'll eat that cost, but they'll come in and, repair
Yeah,
those.
it's just the guts. I mean, everything's there. I mean, right?
sir.
Oh, good. Good.
Yes, sir. And then the last thing is that we did purchase, or we have right now on the agenda through Urban County for the purchase of $14,000 worth of parks furniture, which is going to be used to replace a lot of the broken stuff that y'all saw, which was tables, water fountains, barbecue pits, benches, stuff like that. That's what we're going to be using that money to put out in the neighborhood parks.
Awesome.
And I don't know if it's just me, but it just seems like if we've got nice parks that are well maintained and cared for and used and lit, they're gonna last a lot longer than
Yep.
Yes, sir.
two.
It's like driving your car. man.
People are proud of their parks. They're gonna help us take care of them instead of putting us in a position where we're kind of butting heads.
Yes, sir. I agree.
That's no fun for anybody.
I do want to say thank you to the staff that I have. We do have 5 maintenance guys out there that when I started, they were just used to, mowing and kind of just keeping up with stuff, but we've gotten into doing a lot of the stuff in-house. A lot of the things that we've been doing as far as playgrounds, repairs, installation, we have been taking care of that stuff in-house. The guys have been very receptive to the idea of doing a little more. And I see them motivated. I see them out there working. So I do want to thank them, our city manager, you all, for being very supportive, and obviously the other directors. We work well together. So
Oh, kudos to your
been a
guys
team
and
effort.
you. Good job. Hey, I have a I passed by. I don't know if I just missed it, but how did the sodding go on the field? Because I looked and I didn't.
we
see
haven't.
it.
We didn't do the.
Okay, I was
sodding,
gonna
sir.
say I was less than impressed when I
No,
saw the
no,
grass.
no.
So I was like,
No, well, the thing is that since we don't have the water right now, so
Oh,
what I've
the-
been
we're just
working on
gonna
is
kill it.
trying to get the irrigation system that's in place to get it automated. So we found about 100 feet of 2-inch line that was broken. We've already identified it. We marked it out. I've got the pricing to do that, and we'll make those repairs in-house as well. Once we connect that 2-inch line, we'll have water throughout the park. Hopefully, we can put it on battery-operated timers. That way, we're not watering at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, like Mr. Pettis says. So, we want to conserve water, right, obviously.
it's a
So,
well.
but we don't want to fix the
but just
fields
dig
with
a well over there.
well, yeah, we don't want to fix them without water because, that's a lot of money that we're going to invest into those fields. So we just want to make sure we have our ducks in a row.
All right, man. Good job.
Thank
Very
you,
well.
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
It's very
IT.
noticeable.
Do we have IT? Yay.
Hay que va a pedir este guy.
Everything's in the cloud.
Everything's in the cloud.
Good morning, or good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners.
Motion to approve.
So to kind of stay in line with
1
how
million, 2 million, whatever you need.
our goal, my goal when coming into the city that Mr. Bettis tasked me with was kind of help bring in some of the more public facing things that need to be updated, right? So in instance, the streaming platform that we instituted was part of that project, on top of the network side of it, we're basically trying to streamline a lot of those processes. So to add to that, for this fiscal year, we updated our city website.
Yes,
And so
very
it has
nice.
gone a long way to assist with the residents and being able to find certain things. I know Mr. Bettis has brought out a couple things that what needed to be more in the front, which we have are easily capable of doing on the fly. So usually it doesn't take more than 5 minutes, whereas before we're spending at least maybe an hour to 2, depending on the task of what it was. So one of the things that has helped us also with this website is being more secure. The WordPress that we were utilizing before, it was all managed between ourselves. And so the security aspect of it all was hard to keep up with. So in this case, GovStack, this is our platform that we use our city website for. They have helped us tremendously in keeping that secure for us. Another part of that is for the front facing side, is bringing in the Civic Plus portals to the residents, adding things such as our civic clerk for our meetings. We have our mass notification also in the works right now, which is integrated with our iPOS. And so I've worked diligently with Chief Campos to get that going, to hope to get more awareness out there. So once we have the information transferred over from Code Red, we'll be able to really utilize mass notification. And then, of course, on top of that would be the iPOS. Things to look forward to coming in this fiscal year is actually adding to this platform, right? So as Jocelyn had mentioned, is our next request, that's another platform. And then I've been working also with our other directors to kind of help corroborate a lot of our functions, right? So another thing that we have is Civic Rec. So Civic Rec is going to allow us to rent out fields, rent out the Texas Room, rent out different locations, Civic Center, that way, and making it more ease of use, front-facing part of for the citizens to read, and they're not going to have to
be able to get like a drop down of what's available to them, their square footage,
yes,
the cost.
It'll be a map,
Wow.
and it'll have let's say, let's take the Dome, for example. We outfit that out with our whatever fields we want to, soccer, football, or the basketball court, like Armando was mentioning. So we'll label each section. If that section wants to be rented out for Mondays and Tuesdays for basketball games, like he had mentioned, they can schedule that out for as many days as they want, as long as it's still available within means. And so these are a lot of things that we've been looking forward to implementing and looking forward to bring to the residents. That way it's a lot easier for them to access those resources. Another part that I'd like to credit Juan for, he's working really diligently on a lot of the internal side of it.
That little curly top back there. Okay.
So
all you can see.
He's implemented our internet portals so that between all our different departments, our biggest department as of now that has the most forms would be our police department. They are constantly emailing us with new forms to add to that portal, and they're actively using it, as well as our human resources here at City Hall specifically. Our library has it, fire department.
You probably already know this, but the full circle of all those things that they're adding, whatever department does, believe it or not, for grants, for reporting, for all that matters. So that synergy that you're creating by allowing that it goes a long way for the entire city. So good job on that.
That's one thing I've kind of prided myself on, and helping being close with the other directors and working really, really close with them, because we all have a need to provide for our citizens.
Yep.
So, and that's the number one goal that we should have. Another part that we've also included in last fiscal year was, our implementation of new camera systems along with the analytics that they provide. I'd like to thank Magic Valley Electric Cooperative for donating a utility pole for us. That's what allowed us.
Utility pole.
Utility pole, sir. That allowed us to install the camera system you see on the top right, which is tied with a license plate reader on top of it. And that's on the corner of First and Illinois, primarily for the sludge haulers that were going back and forth. That way we can, come in and bring in some of that, catch some of the businesses that didn't have permits, right? Or
So
if
imagine
they're
us
spilling.
wearing out his car chasing him.
Well, and you've identified how many in the first couple of weeks
We identified at least 20.
Awesome.
Yes.
that were not permitted?
Yes, and the list is it's growing still, but it's still.
That camera keeps working, it'll keep growing too.
Yes. So the beauty of it, though, is the fact that it's in that location where Triumph is at. If something happens at that school, we do have some eyes back there to assist with those portables.
Good idea.
So, and then of course the license plate reader will assist with anything that comes on that we can provide. The beauty of this platform is like I mentioned before, is the analytical part. It provides us that information that's crucial. I can share a lot of these videos and incidents that may or may not occur to our police department with a minimal about 20 seconds to get that link shared out. And so it has been a great a pleasure with working with this system, and ever since I saw it, it's been it's pretty much frontline, and they're continuing to update their platform. Like for instance, they just announced that they're also getting into the mobile surveillance space, so they're also providing those surveillance towers. So one of the things that I've talked with the chief and Lieutenant Diaz on the grant side is if possible to look into those, but of course we're working together to try to figure out what's best for that department to
Make
be
sure you
efficient.
guys don't go on different platforms
Yes.
of how we upload that information, because then you'll be separated from each other. So.
Yes.
We're also working on illegal dumping areas.
Mhm.
We do have several areas that we need to catch up on.
Awesome.
So some of the things that I'm looking to add, like Mr. Perez was just mentioning, is placing some of these LPR cameras at some like our lift stations with good view to catch some of that illegal dumping. They're relatively cost effective, and then also adding some kind of more hidden solar options that will assist us in catching, like for instance, tires on Florida, right? You know, with that roads being walked by our kids. Last thing we want is for someone to.
You're saying Florida between 5th and 10th?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's Tire Alley right there.
Yes, and so I'm looking to implement something in there to kind of assist with that, and that will be coming down soon. Of course, can't forget the nitty gritty part of it. You know, keeping the city running, being a part of the rest of the departments and kind of assisting everybody, but keeping all the information secure and on the security side of it, and making sure that there's not anything that's gonna come between the cracks. You know, every day there's a new malware, ransomware, something going out, right? There's an instance of our VPNs that we had to disable ours for very, very shortly because there was a vulnerability. So these are the things that we have to keep on top of. But as well as we are about 75% complete with our renewal of the network equipment itself. So we, working with Marisol and the E-rate side of it, the equipment that's there is no longer going to be in use. So we're basically going to reuse that equipment to replace some of that older infrastructure that we have.
So just like the other components of maintenance and all that, it's been refreshing our computers and replacing the old stuff. You're about what percent there?
I'd say that's about 80%.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So very close to catching up with everybody and making sure they have new equipment that's working and not breaking on them.
We had a good chunk that was ordered last year that we were able to alleviate some of the growing pains that we had with our like utility staff, for instance. A slow computer is gonna make a resident might be a little unhappy because it's that computer is going slow, but it's not because it's the utilities clerk's fault. It's partially because of the computer, right? So getting those computers updated and in compliance with the standards that we need to have has been a good big project that we're looking into. And so every year we're going to be replacing or ordering another 15 every year. That way we can get into that cycle. Okay, once we get to about year 5, everything's going to be renewed, and then we'll continue on with just moving out all the old equipment.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem there is when people wait till the very last minute, then they replace 100 and then in 5 years they got to come up with money for 100 computers again. So that's real good that you're doing a rollout. It's the best way. I want to tell you something. Are you finished?
Yes, sir.
So where we were, I want to remind some people that some of them, well, a couple of commissioners weren't here, but the other ones were. When we started, we didn't even save our email. We weren't in compliance with saving our emails. The system we had in here was spotty at best. Our speaker system, it was just where we're at today, listening to you speak. I feel like I'm in a big city and people are doing things the right way, and the system making it easier for the people to use. It's huge. people going to pay? Eventually, maybe we can even have Zoom meetings for the judge. You know, I think you were saying something alluding to that, which would be a great idea. Maybe like the Commissioner Saldana was saying about ease of being able to come, whatever. I mean, that would make it easier for them too to just say, you know, well, let me get on Zoom and I'll just plead guilty or I'll fight it or whatever the case may be, and may add up to that, may pay for itself too. So I just want to tell you that I, for one, am really impressed with your presentation. I mean, just very impressed. So just, you know, keep it going. I know it takes money. It's not easy. Nothing's easy, but you've been able to do it with a limited budget and still get us to where we're at today, where we're actually in the 21st century instead of the 19th century. So thank you for that. Appreciate you.
One thing I just wanted to add also is the coming down the line with, we were talking with Armando, right? Getting internet for at the parks. I know I've relayed the heat maps for that project with Mr. Perez, and so that's something to hopefully look forward in the next fiscal year.
Yeah, there's some grants out there still available for that kind of stuff. I don't know if that's what you're talking about or paying it ourselves, but that's a great idea.
Yes, sir.
Well, and I think also utilities is working on making the information available on their water usage.
Yes, sir. As
Oh,
well
that'd
as
be great,
payments,
man.
an easier way to do payments.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's in the
know.
works.
One thing, I don't know if you can add it or the PD on the drop down of locations that they can rent. I don't know why all of a sudden I've gotten like 3 calls asking me if I'll work security at a dance or something at our rental places. So I don't know if people are just confused or if we've changed anything or if we need to come up maybe with a policy. Maybe we're just renting more our stuff more often, but
They're offering you a job? Or?
yeah, they're offering me to work security. So I don't think it's a good idea. I appreciate it, man. You know, I don't know if they're trying to save a buck, or maybe they just don't know. But maybe we can just make it automatic when you do those drop downs, and just
As
you know,
an
have it in there that this is what it is. And I don't know if we need a it had nothing to do with you, but maybe do we have a policy on security and who it's supposed to be and all that? Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
clean it
good
up.
job, man. Good
Thank you,
report.
sir.
Excellent report.
Fire. Oh, library. Okay, library. Fire, you can wait. Think fire's out. The chief, did he send somebody? Okay.
No, you get library next.
Okay, good. How many grants do you have today?
Well, for the record, I do have Michelle Muniz with me, our assistant library director and our resident grant writer. So.
All right.
But some of our accomplishments for this past fiscal year, for the historic preservation, we did manage to write a application with one of my board members, Gabriel Osuna, and we are going to get a marker for the irrigation building. I know it has a marker right now, but it's a subject marker. This is for the actual building, for its architecture and for its significance to the city. The other thing is we were able to use some of our hotel occupancy tax funds, the hot funds,
Okay.
to redo some of the windows that were in very bad shape. So we did redo 10 of those windows, and we did board them all up to protect them, and that way we can start doing some.
So it has new windows, just covered up windows.
No, there's new windows. There's 10 new windows.
Yeah,
and
but
they're
they're still,
fully-
aren't they still plywooded over?
We haven't plywooded.
To
We don't
protect
want.
them.
We
Okay,
want to
gotcha.
protect
That's
them.
what I- right.
We don't want them destroyed as soon as we.
Right, right.
So.
Gotcha.
So we did get to do those 2 projects for the historic preservation. As far as awards and recognitions, we did get our 2nd year at the Achievement of Excellence in Libraries from TMLDA. We also are accredited again with the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. We were recognized in the Benton Institute for Broadband and Society newsletter for our work with the Digital Navigators, which is through a grant. It's our Methodist Healthcare Ministry grants. So that was recognized by them. They were very excited by that because then they took it and showed it to all their administration, that to show that one of the grants that we had here in the Valley was doing so well. And they recently had a convening, and they did have the library on a panel to discuss the work that we've been doing to try to bridge the digital divide. Our crochet club, they came out on Take 5 on KRGV. They themselves wanted to do a story on us, and they came and they highlighted our crochet club, so that was great. We are trying to, we do have new programming. We had mentioned a grant that we had gotten in the past, but this past fiscal year is when we actually started to develop the space, and we put in our family place, and we've been doing the family place workshops. This is recently we just did our second one, but our actual little family place space, our early learning space, has been loved and well used. We've had over 1,155 kiddos using that space.
Wow.
So it's been going well. Again, that was grant funded. The American Library Association, we also applied for a grant for something called Thinking Money. We did get that. So we got some launch pads that has like preloaded games. The games are more to learn about like saving, spending. So it's money oriented. And we also got some like board games that we can do events with the kiddos. We did do events. And we had 5 classes, and we had 101 children and 42 adults attend them. And we're going to try to do that again. We can't possibly do it every month, but we're trying to do it like every quarter or at least like twice a year or something, so we can keep that going. We've added Spanish classes. One of our part-timers volunteered herself to offer Spanish classes for people. So that's been going well. We also have adult crafts because people were asking us to do crafts for them during the day, and we've been doing good with that too, adding that in for adults. The digital navigators have been doing some more outreach. I know they went to Llano Grande Resort and they did classes there and some one-on-one. Umos approached us about having their staff have computer classes with us because they were getting new technology and they wanted them to be comfortable with that. So in the end, they ended up joining us. We were going to do it there, but in the end, they joined us at different computer classes that we had on our site that in order to help them. We also added 10 additional hotspots through the Methodist Healthcare Ministries grant. So that way we have a total of 25 hotspots that are available to our residents, and they're all highly utilized. There usually is a waiting list. The new resource that we added was Beanstack. Beanstack is like a way for people to track their reading, have reading challenges. So we're trying to like encourage like community reading. We used it for the first time this summer. It did really well. So, and overall, I will say, and I didn't bring those stats with us, I think our summer reading program was one of the best ones we've had since after COVID. We definitely had the most people. Some of it was way too many people, but it was good. We moved a lot of it over to the dome, so that, or not the dome, the rec center, so we could fit. But yeah, we surpassed our reading goal. So that's been going well with Beanstack. And then as I also serve as the vice president for HCLS, so I did help to ask for funding from our county commissioners and county judge, and we did increase our budget from $238,000 to $318,000, which allowed us to get our new integrated library system, and it also allowed us to get a courier system for all of the Hidalgo County libraries.
When they show up in a big gang.
Yes, we
Those
do.
county commissioners were like, motion second, it was like 50 of them. 50 librarians, good job.
Thank you. Well, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and we're about to go meet with our new superintendent.
Yes.
So we can interact with them and see what we can do with the library and the school district.
Yeah, like we know that they have Beanstack now too. The head librarian, Ms. Salaya, told us, so.
I've met her.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to recuse himself from saying anything.
So we're hoping that we can
No
do
questions.
some kind of partnership with them on the Beanstack app and try to get the community reading. So we'll see what we can figure out.
Huh?
Right to remain silent.
Yeah, the right to remain silent. I just don't have the ability. The congratulations on the Colegio event too. You didn't mention anything about that, but that's such a great event, and it's a source of pride to have our library named after Dr. Hector P. Garcia as well. And I think he would be very proud to have his name associated with our library and the great programs you have. And this other thing, Michelle, thank you for sending that email, and we look forward to publicizing the significance of that exhibit and what comes with it, and how important it is to preserve the history of education and opportunities in this area.
Oh, thank you. And they did, I think, come out on Channel 5 today at 6 o'clock. I don't know if they're going to air it again at 10 o'clock. But they came and covered.
Oh, well, I'll
the
have to
exhibit.
look for that too.
Mhm.
Always looking for a positive story. Don't
Yes.
always get it, but we're always looking for it.
That should have been a positive story today. I don't see how it would not be.
Thank you, guys.
You're
Thank you.
Public Works.
These, while she's making her way up, these are great, by the way. I know it takes some time, but I'm sure glad we're doing these.
No, I love it.
And it's been very informative.
Good evening.
Hi.
My name is Delta Longoria. I'm the admin assistant to the Public Works Department. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Tomas Villagomez, my director. The accomplishments for Public Works, sidewalk reconstructions on Hidalgo Street between Missouri and Virginia. That was done. We have completed 13 replacements of fire hydrants throughout the city, and that's an ongoing project still going on, and we're still looking through all that. We resurfaced Virginia Street, 8th Street to 10th Street, resurfacing Missouri Street from 10th Street to 12th Street as well. We replaced 17 linear feet to cast iron pipes on 5th Street between AutoZone and the high rise. That was replaced. Also replaced 700 linear feet of clay sewer main line of PVC that had collapsed in the alley between Business 83 and 4th Street. That was also replaced. Public Works has also started cleaning stormwater pump stations at Colorado Park and encountered a 32-inch line that comes from Maryland that heads south to the South Water Pump Station. So we found
You
that.
added, or you?
They found it.
Oh, yeah,
They
they're cleaning
located
it out,
Yes, they came across it. They've identified several cast iron asbestos water pipes throughout the city, and we're going to be prioritizing which ones to be replaced throughout. Mr. Villagomez has established a healthy communication with the drainage district as well.
With the
to
who?
im-
I'm sorry.
Drainage district.
Oh, okay.
To improve, requesting maintenance to help with the ditches and all of that. We reintroduced the storm sewer preventive maintenance program. That's within us, within Public Works. We go out and we go through the drains, the inlets, and we clean out before the actual rainstorms come in. So we started implementing that more often. So that's been a good help a lot. We've also we're still identifying fire hydrants and valves and manholes with our GIS program. So that's still going on. It's still mapping. So we're still doing all of that as well. During the identification process, we were able to locate several old structures that are allowed infiltrations into our systems. And we are recommending that these structures get replaced.
Into the sewer system?
Yeah.
We
There's
have a
there's
huge
lots of them.
infiltration with every rain event.
Mhm. So we're recommending to replace those as we come across them.
This probably isn't a fair question to ask you, but I'll use you to ask him. This SAM group that's been doing the GIS, how
Yes.
close are they?
We're
to-
about 2 months away.
2 months
Mm-hmm.
away.
I'm wrapping up.
And then when you were mentioning some of the replacement of the lines, the sewer lines and all of that, how far are we from this much anticipated report from Friesen Nichols?
So we're in the process of identifying and determining if we need to increase capacity.
Mhm.
Because if the line is 8-inch, does it need to go to 12-inch if it's?
Well, they're supposed to map all that out and be
Yes.
able to tell us how much we've got and of what it's made of and where it is and all of that, right?
Yes, and then the engineer is gonna take over and say, okay, let's price out to replace it, work and effort behind it, and then we'll prioritize.
Good, because that's, it's an inexact science waiting for something to break so you can figure out what it is.
Mhm. Yes,
And-
we have a lot of breaks.
Yeah.
And some of them we come across the clay pipes, so.
Okay.
Any questions?
Job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tell Tom you did great.
All right, we got HR. Hi, Christine.
Hi, good
Howdy,
afternoon. What do they say? They say the best for last.
Yes. Hola.
Okay, so
I heard that in years.
So who's last?
so this year the main focus on the HR side was to go digital and to completely across the board go digitize everything as far as our paperwork, our onboarding. And kind of the way we were doing things back then is trying to eliminate less paperwork, especially through the leave request side, the timesheet side. So even though we're not completely there yet, we're a few steps ahead. And so one thing that I implemented this year was to fully go electronic on the leave submission side for all of our employees. This was that we have successfully transitioned all of our city employees to fully operate our time clock manager to its full capacity. And so we're doing that little by little. So all city employees are now requesting time electronically, whether they want to do birthday leave, sick leave, vacation leave, comp time. Everything is done electronically through the time clock, and we're no longer doing paperwork for that. So everything is completely electronically for all employees. Everybody has access to the time clock, and they personally go in there and submit their time, which is then approved by a supervisor and the director of the department. So that took us about 5 to 6 months for all departments to go completely paperless. And so it was pretty successful, and we're almost hitting a year doing that. One thing that I have also implemented is going completely electronic signatures on our timesheets. So now we have all employees electronically verifying their time, so that way we were able to accommodate to all of our staff that had non-standard shifts, for example, the fire department and the police department. Usually it was hard to get everybody to sign their timesheet payroll Mondays, and so this was able to help everybody verify their times electronically through the time clock themselves, and then that is sufficient enough to be their signatures. So we no longer require signatures on the payroll side, which has helped us tremendously. We're about 4 or 5 months into that. So it's still fairly new for some departments, but so far so good. It's been helping, and it's been working so far. One thing for the 24-25 fiscal year, we had 68 new employees, and that's all across all departments. And so what we have tried to do is to successfully advertise through Indeed and through our website and through Facebook and social media. And so our turnaround time and positions has been quick, of course, except for some departments like the police department. You know, we've learned that that's a position that we're never going to have fully staffed. And so hopefully by December, January, we will, because now we've started something new where we go into a lot of the into the police academies, and we're trying to hire as they graduate. So we're advertising for employment through Indeed, the website, and through social media, and also through our bulletin board that we have here out in the hallway. One thing that we have tried also to do, and one thing that Mr. Perez is really big on, is to enhance the morale of all city employees. And so that's by giving them, you know, a little bit of highlighting each employee every month for their birthday. And so that's something that we stopped doing on social media, but it's something that we do within the departments. I post them on the bulletin board, on the TV in front of my office. And so this is sent out to all department heads every month, and we highlight each employee, and I let every department head know, look, like, this is the birthdays that you have for your month and your departments, and celebrate them. And so I've been seeing that that's a little successful. One thing that we also give to the employees as a birthday is a certificate to our cafe. We've been trying to encourage our employees to visit the cafe as much as they can. So they're given a certificate through the to the cafe as well. So that's one thing that we implemented this year. One thing that we did this year is also we restructured and standardized all goals for throughout the departments. And that's one thing that me and Mr. Perez have been working with all department heads, and that's focusing on our key performance indicators for each department. And we meet with everybody individually, and that's something that we've been working on, and something that we see that has been successful throughout the years, that, you know, we take time and meet with each department on their goals and stuff like that.
So we're aligning those with the mission and vision of the city.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So other than HR, I also have took on the challenge of overseeing building maintenance as well. I've been overseeing building maintenance for quite some time, and it's been pretty fun because I was given a good group of guys that are a little rough around the edges and that are special. And we've been working on prioritizing the work, because before they weren't. So usually the way it was working before, if anybody had an issue throughout city, they would call and just call all day long and say, you know, I need this, I need that. And so what I did on the building maintenance side was I prioritized their work, and we use C-Click-Fix, and we're submitting work orders on a daily basis. All departments are submitting what they need from the building maintenance department. And their turnaround time is, if they submit something in the morning, by the afternoon, my guys are there fixing it or trying to see what it is that they can do, versus before, you know, if we had an AC down, we would wait a week or so for someone to come in. And so right now the turnaround time for building maintenance is making sure that everything is addressed that same day through the work order system. So that's been new to them, and they actually really like it, and they appreciate that their work is being prioritized now. So so that's one thing that we've been working on for building maintenance as well. One goal that I do have for the building maintenance guys this year is I want for them to start learning how to do things in-house. So I'm going to be sending them to a lot of free classes. I know that they told me, oh, like we went to Home Depot the other day and we saw that they're giving a free training on this or a free course on this, and I would like to learn. So that's one thing that we're also going to be doing is for the guys to be going out there and seeing if they have a free Havoc class that they heard of. So I told them, okay, well, let's take the opportunity. Maybe one of you could go. And so that's one thing that we're also going to be working on. The key projects that we have this year set up for building maintenance, of course, is going to be the rec roof and the library roof. Those are the two things that we're focusing on for building maintenance. I'm also working with the assistant city manager and with Jocelyn on the bids for the city hall improvements. So that's one thing that we're going to be working on as well, which will be focusing on the walls, the floors, and the doors for city hall. And so that's one of the projects that we've already been working on. We already had our first meeting on the bids. We've already pretty much sat down and said, you know, what it is that we're looking for. And so that's one of the projects that we'll be addressing as soon as possible within the next month or so. We'll also be repairing all of the fire department overhead bay doors, because a lot of those were not in compliance. And so we're fixing all of their motors, replacing some doors, fixing some hinges and all of that. So that's also one thing that we're going to be addressing. And as well as fixing the lighting at the library. So that's also one thing that we have been focusing on for building maintenance. And that's pretty much it.
So Christine, you mentioned the upgrades here in facilities for here at the city hall.
Yes.
Is there any plans or anything for upgrades or any for the civic center?
That is not, well, we haven't discussed it, but I know that Rudy and Antonio so right now they're working at Public Works fixing the EOC building, and so we had them remove some stuff because we're going to renovate that building as well. So a lot of what they took out over there, they saved the tile. So a lot of the tile that they saved over there, they're going to be putting it at the Civic Center. So we're trying to improve inside the Civic Center with what we kind of already have that is still good, like from the tile that we have over there. They're going to be replacing the floor at the Civic Center with it.
What about the outside of the civic center, the facade? You know, that needs a lot of maintenance.
So-
We were there this weekend for a fundraiser, Commissioner Martinez and myself, and the building does need a lot of maintenance work on the outside as well.
So I think we can incorporate that with the park plan, the redesign. We could probably include a makeover of that area because we're gonna redo the parking and how you access it and all that.
Well,
Yeah,
can-
and I
can-
think that the windows also need to
the
be
windows need to
fixed,
be
the
fixed.
windows and the doors.
Can I jump in on that real quick? We had even discussed the possibility of reaching out to artists and doing some form of mural along the side that faces towards 83 that kind of gives it a little bit more flair whenever you have events in and around that area. It's something to think about, man, because some people would be willing to do it, you know, I don't know about free, but you know, at least I think we have a few artists here, Mercedes, that might consider it as something that's relatively good. I mean, Mercedes has a lot of history, so maybe there's something that we can incorporate with that. That would be great. I just want to touch base on something that Commissioner Garcia had mentioned, only because, you know, the Civic Center, for what it's worth, it's supposed to be some form of revenue deal here. And, you know, Mando, I apologize. I had a work call, so I didn't get to hear your deal. But I feel like between the Civic Center and the amphitheater, we're not utilizing it the way we should. And these are attractions, right? And to the commissioner's point, the bathroom facilities are pretty bad in there, right? Some of the chairs I noticed are already getting ready to be broken. So let's suppose somebody sits down, it breaks, they fall. Are we liable for something like that? Those are things that we need to look at when we're looking at the kitchen facility within the Civic Center is pretty bad. And what I'm implying is that it's here, it belongs to us. We're competing with other event centers within the city, and we're not really putting any attention on it. Maybe we could even see if there's a way or some form of loophole for the hotel motel tax, because I mean it does kind of supposed to go into promoting tourism. I don't know, maybe we can figure something out. But it's just something that I think that we should consider, because if HEB Park is going to be our premier park, then we are going to have to put into that. I mean, right now as we speak, I think county elections are going on, so it's something to consider. I mean, obviously this building has multiple uses on that. Another thing that I was going to ask on the building maintenance deal is, have we considered maybe even utilizing a key fob system to ensure that people don't just walk in, you know, in unrestricted or in restricted areas? I don't know if that's something that you guys have looked into, because I know several businesses are starting to do that. So I'm just curious.
Yes, upon our meeting with for the bids on the city hall improvements, we did mention that, and I believe that Mike had already received
Okay.
a quote on the doors for that previously, so it's something that we're looking at and considering.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good job, Christine.
Thank you.
Christine.
Good presentation.
All right, so Fire's the only one that's out. He'll catch up in the next meeting.
I think he's gonna have a busy presentation himself.
Thank you.
Before man, I don't know if this was supposed to be a end of the year report or what, Albert, but
The summary.
but I gotta tell you, man, this was and none of it was fluff. Everything had something to show, statistics, numbers, outcomes, improvements, percentage. I mean, you know, it's one thing to come up here and say we've done some great work, but it's another one to show it. And it's a whole nother one to see it. And I got to tell you, man, this has been probably, I'm seeing all the fruits of our labor, time, and hard decisions of several years back and moving forward every year that it's paying off. I want to thank you, Albert, for your leadership.
Well, it's
And
really
for-
comes back to you all supporting these projects.
Well, anyway, we can fluff back and forth, but at the end of the day, we do set the stage. I get it, and
Yes.
you're right. We set the goals, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to deliver those goals, and we'll take our thank yous whether they vote for us or not. But in your case, I just wanted to tell you that this is probably the most impressive presentation I've had in my 4 or 5 years, whatever I've been here. As far as culmination, as far as department heads setting a goal and giving us a report of where they're at in that goal. Unfortunately now is that we're going to expect that all the time.
Every month?
But yeah, man, I want to see him
once a year. I know it's the end of the fiscal year,
Yes,
so
sir.
it makes sense. And the other thing too is we all get busy, and I don't think we realize how much we accomplish until we have to sit down and write that kind of stuff down and talk about it. And you know, I just want to echo your comments, Mayor, because it's if we're impressed, I know y'all are bound to be very proud of it yourself, and you should be.
And the thing is, just to finish my thoughts, when we come and we say we still need to do this and we need to do that, for us, I was listening to Commissioner Garcia Martinez and thinking that's pretty cool when you have the confidence to say, hey, I want to see this done, because it means that somebody's showed us that they can. Because let me tell you, the other side of the coin is, well, everything's a piece of junk. Yeah, I just give up. Forget it. We don't have any money. We don't have. And that's not where we're at today. When somebody was talking about some of the work that y'all have done, ma'am, what you were saying about Public Works and stuff, to be honest with you, I drove around the last rain. I don't remember when that was. And I don't say this to say because I do it, but I like that stuff. But I like to go around and check if there's anything. I like to see the water going down. So I couldn't find hardly any anymore, which means that we're cleaning. And it's the small things. Like, for instance, if you have a more active street sweeper, you have less problems. You have somebody out there gigging people for throwing trash out onto the roadway, they're going to stop doing it. So, and I saw that in almost every department here. So, including what we're doing with the judge's office and the collections. So, anyway, I just wanted to thank you, Albert, for your leadership in this. And I know it hasn't been easy. And also I want to take this time to thank the commission as well for making some really tough decisions. And I was at breakfast this morning, and I had a lady come up to me it was after breakfast. I went to HEB, and a lady was on her way to Houston to go get for cancer. And anyway, she just stopped to tell me. She called me over to tell me what a great job we're doing here in the city, and how it's noticeable, and how much she appreciates that. And I just wanted to make sure that you and your staff know that we're getting that kind of from people out, the feedback from the people. So anyway, all right, thank you all for your presentation. Moving on to item 11, executive session, chapter 551, Texas Government Code, section 551.071, consultation with attorney. Section 551.072, deliberation regarding real property. Section 551.074, personnel matters. Section 551.087, economic development. Do I have a motion to go in executive session? I have a motion by
Second.
Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're adjourned. We are in executive session, and it is 9:04 p.m.
All right. It is 9:55, and I call this meeting back to order. Back into regular session. We have no items. So move on to item 13, adjournment.
Mayor, make a motion to adjourn.
A motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
God bless. Go Mercedes. Go Tigers.
Jacob, huh?
9:50.